Hello and welcome back to another Friday with us. I am Ace of Pyrite, and joining me once again is the ever-present and wonderful XR Troika.
How are you doing, Tim?
I'm very well. I'm extremely well.
Good stuff.
I'm glad to be back with our Friday night family. I feel like we're building a little bit of a crew here. We see the same names in chat, and it's nice to see you all back. We are, of course, here for the Rainbow Six Siege Arena Clash. We will be watching tonight the fourth playoff game from the Championship Series. I know that we said last week it was going to be the Challenger Final, but due to a few technical issues, I think on behalf of the players, unfortunately that's had to be a forfeit game. So instead, we are going to bring you a cracking best of three, I think it's going to be, between the Kingston Harriers and the Norfolk Nighthawks, who are playing off for third and fourth in our Championship Series. So what are you expecting of this game, having seen both of the teams last week, X?
I'm quite excited that we're getting to watch a team or two teams that we've seen throughout the tournament so far. It is obviously a bit of a shame that we couldn't get the challengers on this evening, but I think we've got a cracking game for you nonetheless. The Kingston Harriers, for me, are the one to watch. I think the game that they had in the quarters, I believe, against the Smugglers, that was a cracking game. And
they played very well last week as well, to be fair.
Was it against the Armada or the Smugglers? I do forget.
Smugglers, I think.
I think it was the Smugglers. They had a cracking game, and it really could have gone either way. I think the scoreline ended up being 2-1, so they did manage to take a map, and they're going to be a very worthy opponent tonight. I think
they did play really well, and I think they probably could have maybe not expected more out of that game, but had it gone to them, you certainly couldn't have complained. Both teams played a good game, and I don't think could have complained either way. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing these two throw down. And what I like about Norfolk particularly is they've got a lot of good fans. We always get very vocal in the chat, so please don't be scared to do that. Let's see you representing. You know, always very good. So for those of you that might be new to us tonight, the Arena Clash is a tournament that is run by Belong Gaming Arenas. There's one in many towns up and down the UK. Just do a quick search online, belong.gg, and you'll be able to go and find your local arena. Basically, get down there. We've had a really good turnout for Siege because I mentioned earlier the Challenger teams. So basically, each of the arenas, or at least the majority, have actually not only got a championship team that has been entered into the main Arena Clash tournament. There's also a sort of a separate tournament for the secondary teams because they've had enough players turn up to actually put two teams together. So that shows the volume of players that we're actually getting out there for this, and that's fantastic. So yeah, get yourself down if it's something you want to be involved in. Siege is definitely down there in the Belong Arenas, and it's hopefully there to stay. And get yourself down, get yourself involved, and see if you can get into those teams for sure. But I'll pass you over to X, who can have a quick run through our rosters for tonight.
So you can see now on screen we've got the rosters for this evening. Of course, Norfolk Nighthawks are going to be facing off against the Kingston Harriers. The lineup for the Nighthawks is as follows: Johnny Matrix, Dark Wolf RC, Jamie V-Dub, Ice Keens, Duke, and Not Titan. Speaking from personal experience of watching these players play, Jamie V-Dub, he's one to keep your eye on.
Ice Keens had a very good game on the Maestro.
Ice Keens had a cracking game. Not Titan as well.
Titan, he quite often goes off.
Norfolk's a team of gunners.
I just love Johnny Matrix's name.
Yeah,
Johnny Matrix. I really like that. It rolls off the tongue. In fact, that is a caster's dream. Is that name? Let me tell you, that is a caster's dream.
It's a team stacked with gunners and a heck of a lot of potential, but I'm sure they're not going to have an easy ride this evening as they do face off against Kingston Harriers, who have also been very successful in the tournament this far. That team is going to comprise of the Assassin, CT Hulu, Smokey, Triple R, Sparkles, and Chemical. Again, another team of outstanding players that stand out to my mind: the Assassin and Triple R. Certainly two guys to watch there on the side of the Harriers.
You did get a bit of attention in the chat last week for the pronunciation of I think it's Cthulhu there with the CT Hulu. You got a little. I'm not trying to call you out. I'm not trying to call you out on chat. You did get a bit of attention last week.
I appreciate,
I think
and
there's certainly some meme value in there. I think that the chat personally, I think they'd like to see you keep it. I don't think they want that to go anywhere. I think they really enjoyed that. So as we said, we are going to be best of three: Kingston Harriers against Norfolk Nighthawks. The first map we're going to be seeing tonight is Oregon, and we move over into the ban phase. So Oregon X, a map that we generally see. It's important to win your gunfights. It's important to control the roam game. It's a very linear map. It's just about getting an attack onto site, basically. You know, you move through a west clear, you move through a big tower clear, and you move yourself towards the site and what your execution is going to be. So the first ban that we're going to see then is Thermite. Are we going to see the double hard breach ban?
I hope not.
We've seen it before.
We've seen it before. It's not as common on Oregon. Caster's Curse, I guess.
There we go.
As the double hard breach ban comes through.
Those hatches are safe. Well, possibly Maverick. But
that changes the way that this map plays exponentially. There's nothing that will change a map and shape the way that it plays out like a double hard breacher ban.
There is a quote from a film that I like that famously says, some men just want to watch the world burn. And that for me is exactly what's happened here on Oregon.
It does beg belief, because you're just giving yourself such a hard time. The Harriers have come out big, bold statement with the Thermite ban, and the Nighthawks are going, you know what, we're on defence first, we're going to take away the Hibana as well, and you're going to have a really, really tough time over on your attacking phase. We lose a Legion and we also lose an Echo. Legion, not too popular. You does see some banning, but very few and far between. More typically, you would expect to see a mirror ban. If the hatches aren't going to be opened, or we're going to be relying on purely Maverick to be able to open those hatches, I don't know how much value the mirror has. I think you can hold that site better without the mirror.
I think because of the volume of mirror bans that we've seen, teams have had to develop, teams have had to adapt to defending that site without
It's just
mirror.
Something that you're used to doing at this stage, and I don't think that it's all too important. We're not going to see the Maverick be brought on the side of the Harriers. They're instead going to be opting for a bit more of a frag-based lineup. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. Oregon can get a little bit stale in the way that it plays out, but maybe the double hard breacher ban will make the kitchen dining objective a little bit more viable.
Yep, absolutely.
So we could see more than just the two typical bomb sites playing out today on Oregon. Did Rook just blow up his own stuff?
His own armour?
I think he just blew up his own armour pack.
You know, it's a bold move. It's a bold move.
It's a big game.
Let's see how it pays off.
It's a big game. There's pressure on both sides. You
Absolutely.
know, the Nighthawks are feeling that pressure, and Rook's, you know, getting a little bit confused with the buttons. So another good reason maybe not to bring the Rook.
I think we've all been there. So it's one of them controller problems. From my PS4 days, I used to do it probably at least 2 or 3 times a match, where you catch one of them back triggers, and it's always your nade trigger. It's always your nade trigger that you catch, and off it goes. But interesting choice on the mute as well, given that we've got no hard breaches. I know obviously it can be used there to, you know, deny entry to drones and information. We always talk about how important information is in Siege, but I'll be interested to see how that pans out. Potentially there could have been more useful operators brought on the defensive side. Maestro, you know, for example there. But
yeah, I'd go the Maestro for the Rook. I think the mute has a bit of value if you're going to use it to open up the floor and stuff. If you are going to run the shotgun on it, it can be something that is quite interesting and useful. Slayer just going to be putting a few warning shots there down over on into kitchen as the glass, as we've got Assassins getting himself ready on master balcony. So the push is going to have to come through double windows, white stairs, kids windows, armory stairs, or even attic. Attic has very kindly by the defenders been opened, so that is something that if some drone work goes on, the Harriers will be able to take a little bit of advantage of that, as they are pretty limited on what they're going to be able to open up with the bans playing out the way they have. Assassins maybe just trying to bait this mute in a little bit. He's probably able to be wallbanged there. I'm not sure if we're going to see the first kill coming out right now. A couple of warning shots do get shot through, but nothing will connect over onto the mute. Sledge just cooking a grenade, getting caught out there by the ADS. He's going to look to remove one of those pesky alibis.
1 minute 30 left to go then, and not too much direct progress onto site. Both teams having a cagey start here, none of them wanting to commit too heavily too soon, but the attacking team, that leaves them at a disadvantage, because ultimately they're the ones playing against the clock. I see in the chat there Ulster mentioning that he's an Xbox player, interested that this is a console tournament. Ulster, belong arenas, get yourself down, get yourself involved, get yourself into a team. So 1 minute left to go. We've seen 2 kills come in, going in either direction. Kingston getting a second there for the Troubles, but Godly Duke will trade that out with 2, so that brings the man count back in favour of Norfolk on the defence here. And we have another one dropping on that Kingston side, so that leaves Glaz with it all to do in a 1 versus 3 situation. He's got Rook, he's got Jaeger, he's got Valkyrie to go up against. He's taken his scope off, which is a little unorthodox, but potentially moving into what he sees as more sort of CQB territory. Maybe he doesn't want that magnification, but given the power of the illumination of the operators that he's facing, I think it would be better to have it on. But he's going to see the first one here, and that will be the first kill. That's 1 of 3. He's going to rotate. This is good movement from him. He's not making himself predictable, Slayer Swift, but shots are going to come in. That's going to give away Jaeger's position, and that is a dangerous move to try and get that plant down. He did still have 15 seconds, but Titan will come in and finish things off, and that was an easy sweep there as Jaeger could just feed that information back in. I think I'd like to have seen the Glaz maybe just make that challenge there onto the Jaeger. He knew where he was. He had 15 seconds. It's plenty of time. Get the challenge onto him. If he wins, you know, that rifle is extremely powerful. 2 shots will usually get you a down at least. Get that challenge, get the Jaeger out of the way, and then maybe start thinking about a plant when it's just you and Valkyrie. If needs be. At that point, you know Valkyrie's going to be rotating back to site. You might actually catch both of them in that 15 seconds.
Quite possibly. Godly Duke played that to perfection. He picked up a great 2k. He was playing in a powerful position behind the mattress with a rotation over on into Kid's bedroom, and you know he played it well. He didn't push the Glaz too much, like you say. He was there, able to feed back the information to his teammate, not Titan, who was playing the Valkyrie, and it was a nice easy pincer movement in the end. The Glaz did have a lot to do. A 1 versus 3 like that, when you've got the DMR, you really do have to be breaking those engagements down. You're not going to be able to engage multiple enemies just purely because you have got the DMR, and the shots can be a bit tricky to hit. You can see that Rook has decided to use one of his impacts before putting the armor plates down this time. That's just going to reduce the risk of maybe destroying those again. Although it didn't seem like his team needed him. It was a 2 versus 1 in the end, and they did a very good job of holding upstairs, which is a fantastic sign, because with a hard breacher ban, Laundry is going to be even more defensible, especially with the hatches in meeting both being reinforced. The one that Valk's reinforcing now near the stage, you can play with that hatch open, especially if you're going to be playing somebody upstairs in meeting. It can provide a nice sort of rotation back down into sight. However, with the way the bans have played out, I don't think that the Nighthawks are doing anything wrong by just reinforcing as much as they possibly can and really trying to funnel these Harriers down into lines of sight, because of course the Nighthawks are going to have their own attempt on the attacking phase after the first 6 rounds. So they do want to make sure that they maximise the rounds that they are able to pick up whilst they are in their defensive phase. Zafir now just droning upstairs in Watchtower, just hitting T2 there, just making sure that no one's upstairs and waiting to maybe pull off some sort of a late rotation. Smokey just going to get some drone work done, figure out if anybody is playing on inside meeting, but with all 5 members of the Nighthawks on site, I think the roam clear will come through fairly quickly, and it's, you know, there's no harm in stacking the site in this scenario, because you're no doubt just going to hold an angle and wait for the Harriers to push in through that angle. And you can see that that is what's going to happen now as Sledge starts to make his way down Laundry stairs. Now there's a player playing very close right. He is going to peek his head. What a great opening kill there onto Johnny Matrix. Does manage to remove the mute jammer as well, although that is a little bit pointless. Not Titan will peek around and get the first kill for the defense. And if he'd have played that angle a little bit longer, he may have been rewarded with another, but it's going to be Jamie V-Dub. 2 Assassins picks him up, and does he get a second? Yes, he does. 2 Assassins going huge there, making his entry on into the site, putting his team in a 4 versus 2 in the first half of the round. Is he going to pick up a third? No! Rook is going to find the headshot. 3-2 now in favour of the Harriers still, as Zafir is now pressuring down the stairs as well, which wasn't there to refrag the kill onto the Rook, which could have been a bit of a shame, because now she's going to have to make the engagement herself. Smokey the Bandit finds 1, but Rook picks up his second. It's all down to Rook now. Can he make this a 3k? He's in a 2 versus 1 situation. A Blackbeard and a Ying will be his opponents. Ying, Candela's come through. Rook does find 1 versus 1. Can he find the next? No, it's going to be Ying. A frag fest throughout the round, but ultimately it will be the Harriers picking up their first round on attack.
Well handled by Slayer Swift and Smokey the Bandit, I believe it was, on the Blackbeard at the end of the round there. They were 2 versus 1 and they separated themselves. The Ying moving to go through that rotation and the Blackbeard moving through the corridor. So it just kept the Rook guessing there and he couldn't win both engagements. So well played there from Kingston Harriers to get themselves an attack. Not messing about on that one.
No, not messing about at all. Very clear cut. And not a round that I was expecting them to win, you know, with the way that everything's been playing out. I thought that that could have gone to the defensive side, but the Harriers managing to get the kills where it counted, and making a big entry really down that main stairs really helped. They weren't in ideal positions, they weren't really able to push all too much and trade kills, but they were able to win individual gunfights, and I think had it not been for Rook going huge and getting a 4K, it could have been a much different round.
Well, it just shows the power of the hatch as well. The hatch they haven't been able to open because of the lack of hard breach. There is the option of bringing a Maverick, which I would probably like to, if I'm going to see it on any site, I want to see the Maverick brought on this site to get that hatch open, because look at what happened there. You had, I think, 3 players playing directly underneath hatch. You had Valkyrie, you had Mute, you had Rook, all playing directly under hatch, and they lost 2-3 men, I think it was, trying to push that angle on main stairs, and that was because the hatch wasn't opened. If that hatch is opened, nobody can play in that area. Nobody at all. The best they can do is hide themselves away in the little cubby off the side. So that just shows the value of keeping that hatch closed and also the 2 hard breacher ban. But for me, as the Kingston Harriers, they're going to feel confident because they've just won it there. They've pushed down the back. You know, it's a good rear push as well. They've split the forces, not all gone down the same side. But I think they could have some difficulty if Norfolk can recognise that and just defend this one a little bit differently. And I really think there'd be some value in a Maverick there to open that hatch up.
The Nighthawks just need to defend a little bit more differently. You know, the way that they're holding the site, they can't just hold from the middle, like you say, underneath the hatch. They've got to be holding from an angle. You can see there 3 players all stacked up inside of B. Johnny Matrix is playing on the stairs, which is good, but Jamie Vidop all on his own upstairs, and he's going to get taken out with ease within the first 50 seconds of the round. Now that the roam game is cleared out, it just allows all the space in the world for the Harriers to be able to execute on into sight. Smokey the Bandit's going to be making his entry now. He just gets sight of one, but Godly Duke will find the headshot through Blackbeard's shield and go to challenge onto rear stage stairs.
2 minutes left to go then, and we see Titan move out and get a kill with that shotgun as well. So that's going to be 4 versus 3 now. 2 Assassin just having to hold an angle here on main stairs with his Jackal. He has the diffuser and he's going to be looking to get himself into that planting position. But again, as I've said previously, it's going to be very difficult. Perfect example, Johnny Matrix, Titan, both able to play in that area at the bottom of stairs. If Titan gets kills here, Titan gets both kills there. Absolutely no surprises, and that is because they're being allowed to function and play wherever they like.
What great adaptation there. Brilliant 2K there from Titan. He held the stairs to perfection. The smoke, brilliant pick, really able to shut down the bomb site and shut down that aggressive push from the Harriers. I think the way that Norfolk have been able to switch that up on the fly in the space of like 3 minutes just shows what sort of a team we're dealing with here. We're dealing with a team that really understand how they want to play the game, and they're reacting very well so far to the things that the Harriers are trying to do. So things are looking pretty promising now for the Nighthawks. I think to lose that 1 round on Laundry early on wasn't to be expected, but they've certainly redeemed themselves there by picking up again very next round. They are going to, of course, be able to go back upstairs to kids' dorms. So we're not going to see a full tour of Oregon just yet, as they did defend upstairs very successfully as well. I think the Harriers just having a bit of a hard time on the push, really, and not really there to, not really having any of the answers. I think, like you say, the Maverick's something that you've got to be picking to root that player out of playing downstairs. But I mean, even upstairs you could bring the Maverick. There's no harm in trying to Maverick open the wall that you can see Johnny Matrix there, just popping the mute jammer down. That little closet wall into generator room, it's super easy to just get a small circle Maverick hole. You can get walkthroughs with a Maverick, yeah, absolutely. But you can do it in one, if you get it perfect, you can do it in 1 blowtorch canister. If not, it takes 1 a little bit to just get a small crouch hole that you can crouch walk through. No harm in doing that, and it's almost silent as well.
And the thing is, on this, if you bring a Maverick, to be honest, you can use nearly as much of his blowtorch to open Generator Dome's wall as you want, because there is nothing else to open, and he does just give you that hard breach option. At the minute, by not bringing him repeatedly, all they are saying to Norfolk is, we're going to attack you through doors and windows, and Norfolk can play on that.
And you can see that with the operators that they're bringing. Smokey's bringing the Blackbeard pretty religiously. He's now picked up the Blitz this time, so they're the operators that you're looking toward for a bit of a beachhead and someone that's going to be able to make a difference in pushing on into the site. You can see now making his way down Dining Hall corridor, no doubt going to be heading over toward the top of White Stairs. Candelas are going to come through the main window. A little bit of a visual there onto Capcan, just playing at the top of White Stairs, but it's going to be on Smokey the Bandit to try and drone himself in now, which isn't really a position you want your Blitz in. You need the Blitz to be being droned in by somebody else, ideally, and then Blitz can make good use of the information that is gathered in a timely manner, as opposed to, you know, gathering the information and then reacting onto it. You can see Capcan still playing the top of White Stairs very strongly. Assassins has taken quite a couple of points of damage in the early stages of this round, but it's going to be Slayer Swift opening things up with a kill, with a great wallbang there over onto Kids Dorms. Bit of a gunfight will ensue onto Alibi, and Alibi has got to be one bullet at this stage. Slayer Swift came off the better in that engagement for sure. It's got to be looking good for the Harriers now. Norfolk are just overexposing themselves a little bit too much.
Ying put in some real use through that LMG, gets a second kill for his troubles. Slayer Swift, before being downed, we see 2 Assassin downed as well. I think that now leaves the Alibi 1 versus 5, and a much better attack here from Kingston Harriers. They played it patiently, but Jamie VDub will get the first down, but there's going to be 4 more to come. He has got it all to do here. You can see them stacking up on both sides of him. They know exactly where he is. He's going to start putting shots in, but it won't be enough. Slayer Swift moves in for the 3K, finishing Jamie VDub and getting that one back for the Kingston Harriers. So that leaves them 2 versus 2 now. That was a matter of time towards the end, and I was a little bit disappointed with how they'd used the Blitz in that early round. I didn't think he was aggressive enough on that. On the Dorms hold relay, what we used to see was the Blitz rush up White Stairs. Legion was pretty much used to stop that, but with the Legion ban, you could have just really rushed him up White Stairs, got him to the top, and even if he's then just feeding info and being a nuisance. But that said, let's not criticise them. They managed to get the job done. They played very well from the windows. I think Norfolk didn't really know how to deal with that too much on that site. They just left themselves exposed to angles through the soft surface of the mattress and things like that, and just didn't really have any teeth on that one. That was pretty much a bit of a landslide for Kingston.
I think it's just the angles that they opened up, and maybe the Night Hawks weren't too sure in how they were going to play and where they were going to play. We do see them stacking the site quite heavily, and you know, while that can work on some objectives, I do much rather see a bit of a roam game and just give the attackers something to clear out, give them something to do, because if someone's allowed to sit on main window for 2 minutes, they are going to get a kill. There's no way that the defenders are going to be... yeah, exactly. There's no way the defenders are going to be able to operate within the site without exposing themselves in any way and not get shot. You can't allow people that kind of sort of real estate, if you will. You've got to give the attackers something to have to clear out, something to think about, something that they're worried about, some flank that they do not want to see. So play a vigil downstairs, play a couple of people downstairs and just see what happens. Even if you just waste a bit of time and take one with you, that's got to be worthwhile. You can see Vigil has already got himself squirreled away down inside of down inside of Dining. And cool, I thought Smokey the Bandit was going to go straight for that wall there onto Dining, but no, it's going to be a Kids Windows repel for Smokey Bandit and the Ash as well. So Vigil could have a bit of a field day here, but I'm not sure if he's got any information to tell him that anyone's on that repel.
That's the thing, it's Titan that's been playing the Valkyrie previously, and it's Titan that's moved on to the Vigil, so those cams not available this time. But as you say, it's sort of like they just... I'm not really sure what that Clayfall's going to do. Nobody's really going to be challenging through Small Tower, but Norwich with the first kill then, so that's going to be a kill onto Smokey the Bandit, and that's going to be traded back out by the Ash, who is now deep into sight already, and this is going to be something that Norwich need to deal with. It could be a deciding factor in this round how they deal with this Ash. But yeah, Vigil, if Titan plays this right, could have an absolute field day, because they're just not looking for a roamer, because Kingston aren't expecting a roamer, because they've not had to face one yet. We've got 2 kills, 3 kills coming out very quickly from Norwich, and this Kingston attack is falling apart quickly. They know where the Ash is, and it was only a matter of time for Jamie V-Dub to step in and get the headshot there. Much better from Norfolk, and good adaptation again, I would suggest, with having the roamer out there and hassling the flanks and just not allowing them to play their game.
I think Ash is going to be a little bit disappointed there. If I was playing that Ash, I would have been screaming for the diffuser to come along through kids' windows there. It was a free plant, and Jackal smoking it off. I mean, Jackal's got the diffuser. It's the right operator in that circumstance, because he's got the smoke canisters to make a difference in getting that plant down. You've got to be screaming for it at that stage. Just landslides either way so far. I can't believe how close the game is. It seems to be, it's either, you know, Norfolk are winning with 4 men left, or Harriers are winning with 5 men left on a flawless round. It's crazy so far. We're going to be going back down to Laundry for this final round as the sides currently sit, after which we will of course be switching over, so it will be the Harriers' turn to show us what they've got on defence. And so far, Oregon is not playing out the way that I would have predicted it to be, in that it is just so back and forward. But not through one team winning or losing one side consistently. Both teams are winning both sides. It's not like it's going really, you know, it's not one-sided or the other. It's just, I don't know, who wants it more? Both teams are doing a great job, but both teams are making a couple of mistakes as well.
Down in Laundry, last time we saw Norfolk have a very, very good win. They absolutely dominated this site. They lost the first time they were down there, but then they adapted very well and changed things up. And me and X both commented about the power of opening that main lobby hatch just to deny Norfolk Nighthawks the game that they want to play, which is to flood that Laundry area with players and stop you getting down the main stairs. And Kingston Harriers didn't really seem to have any answer to that. As you can see, we've got a 4-man rush into garage here, so it looks like similarly they are wanting to get themselves into main lobby and push those stairs, and without the Maverick, again without any ability to open that hatch, this could be another bloodbath if Norfolk Nighthawks play this in the same way that they did previously. So we've got the Sledge now moving himself into the kitchen area, into the meeting area. He's just looking to clear out any roamers, but it doesn't look like there's too much droning going on ahead of him to find out if there is anybody out there. Now I believe there could be one of the Nighthawks playing up there in the small tower, but I'm only going off the silhouettes that I could see. Yes, there we go. We've got Jamie V-Dub just out in the dining area, and it looks like a bit of a half-hearted attempt at a roam clear here, X. We've got Sledges moved very quickly through meeting hall, checked kitchen, but not really gone any further than that, and that's allowed Jamie V-Dub to move silently now down this flank, and he's gonna get shots on and unfortunately doesn't get the kill. That is gonna reveal his position. He's gonna take huge shots himself. That puts him down to about 10 health. Meanwhile, we have Norwich 11 just trading things out, so that leaves us 4 versus 4 now. But look at the hit points on the Norfolk side. They really have taken some early damage here. Slayer Swift getting a kill for himself onto Rook as well. 3 versus 3 as Titan trades that one back out. Titan steps out, exposes himself from 2 angles and will get felled. So that now leaves us 3 versus 2, 3 versus 1 as I'm speaking, with Kingston Harriers taking great control of the site. Here comes the plant that you were so keen for last time, X. They're certainly adapting and learning. Jamie V-Dub on the stairs here. They're almost certainly going to know that's where he's coming from. It would be a possible option for him to rotate here because he has attacked from that side previously. He was shot up around the classroom area, and as you can see, we've got Zafia there just holding an angle, waiting for Jamie V-Dub to move in, and there's the kill that gets Kingston Harriers the round 3 apiece, and this half goes for a draw.
Good round there from the Harriers, making the most of, I think, the shortcomings really in the Nighthawks defence. To have Bandit as your guy that you've got out on the roam on a Laundry objective just seems a little bit odd. Bandit isn't an operator that you would typically take downstairs to defend Laundry. You know, if you're looking to play a roamer on Laundry, you're going to be looking at a Vigil, you're going to be looking at an Alibi, somebody that's got impacts and the ability to make those quick rotations, especially through through attic, or get one of the shotgun players that's going to be playing down on site to come and open a couple of lines of sight for you, or open up the attic hatch that goes down into meeting. But just to go and sit inside a dining isn't really much of a strategy, especially with the way that the Harriers were able to push. So, yeah, I mean, that's going to be the turn of the tide. Things can change. So far, we've seen it go very, very back and forth, of course, sitting at 3 rounds apiece. It is worth saying that tonight is a best of 3. So Oregon being our first map is only going to be part of the story. We are going to be visiting at least 1 more map and potentially 2, depending on the results of that second map.
We are 10 in the chat there. Is this Kingston University? No, it's not 10. You are watching the Belong Arenas arena clash. So basically in a lot of towns up and down the country we have Belong gaming arenas where you can go down and play many of your favourite games. But Siege is one of the games that has been put into their organised arena clash tournament, and the Kingston Harriers, believe it or not, hail from the Kingston Belong Arena, and that is their team. So this is, as X said, a 3rd, 4th playoff between Kingston Harriers and Norfolk Nighthawks ahead of the big final at Insomnia, which we will be bringing to you around a similar time next Friday, so make sure to join us for that. We've seen a lot of the same names in chat. We've had a lot of fun seeing you guys come back week after week, and we've built a nice little community here, I think, so it'd be great to see some of you back for the final, or indeed to see you at Insomnia. A little bit of a strange Thatcher grenade throw there. That's something I think the Thatcher probably needs to work on. Drop the EMP outside of the window and you destroy the ADS that's just taken your Thatcher grenade out. So not too much use dropping the EMP through the window like that. We're going to have 2 Assassin coming in with the first kill for the defenders there, taking the Twitch off the board. Again, you know, I maybe question bringing the Twitch and the Thatcher. They do a very similar job now. I would have said if you've got the Thatcher you probably don't need the Twitch, but she does have a very good gun, so it never hurts. We've got Titan up there on those kids' windows as the Buck. Smokey the Bandit getting the 2nd kill for Kingston Harriers there, taking the Thatcher off the board. So that's all the electronic denial gone now. Titan putting shots through onto the Doc, and then he will manage to finish that off. I don't think Doc got the opportunity to use his stim pistol to regenerate himself there. Maybe should have been a priority, but easier said than done sometimes. We're going to have Titan moving himself up onto the roof after getting that kill onto Doc, maybe just to rotate and change his angle. But there comes another kill for the defenders, and that will be from the Frost, killing Johnny Matrix. Jamie V-Dub, however, trading out with one of his own onto 2 Assassin, and that leaves us 3 versus 2 in favour of the Kingston Harriers now. 1 minute to go.
It's a bit of a shame that Pulse isn't playing downstairs in dining, because these are 2 free kills at this point. If he gets that information on the heartbeat sensor and runs out of dining door, it's going to be it's just going to be good night for the 2 players that are playing over on the rappel. But instead, the attackers are going to be allowed to continue to play these windows, which they have been doing so effectively. Jamie V-Dub just getting himself onto highway there. Smokey the Bandit will take out Titan from the window. So that is going to be the Pulse, but it was from the same floor, was just from near White Stairs. And I'm pretty sure now that Ash has got a very tough job ahead. 30 seconds left on the clock, and everybody has got their sights trained on highway window. Ash is going to choose to change up the line of attack and just get back onto rappel. See if 1 kill can be pinched from here before the inevitable rappel in, but it's going to be Slayer Swift that gets the opportunity. The run out does come through. Jamie V-Dub is there ready, but no, Slayer Swift trades it straight back out. And a first defensive round there for the Harriers.
Kingston Harriers just starting to build a bit of momentum now. It's the first time, I believe, that they've got themselves into the lead and being on the defence here. It's something that Norfolk Nighthawks need to be very careful about. They need to be getting some teeth to that attack and getting themselves some rounds, because if this goes 5-3 and Kingston Harriers start to play well on the defence, it could be very difficult to take them out, because you get to a situation whereby they go 5-3 in the strong laundry room. They have to go to a bit of a ropey third site, it's fair to say, either dining or rear stage. They can afford to lose that one then. It's safe in the knowledge that they've got dorms and laundry both back available then for what would effectively be their 6th and 7th round, taking them to the win if that is how we go. So looking towards round number 8 then, I believe, or is it number 7? No, round number 8, I was right first time. So 4-3 as it stands to Kingston Harriers. We're going to see them defending downstairs. Now let's see if they learn from what the Nighthawks did. It would appear that the Nighthawks didn't necessarily recognise the value of that hatch remaining closed. They haven't brought the Maverick. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but they haven't brought the Maverick. That was something that they really benefited from, was being able to play with 2 or 3 underneath that laundry hatch and prevent the push downstairs. But as it stands, no hard breach capacity there, so it's going to be down to a direct push either down the stairs or from the rear stage area. How do you think they're going to tackle this one, X?
I'm not sure. I mean, they're bringing the Monty, so obviously they're going to be using the Monty to push something, whether that's going to be tunnel entrance and the little red corridor, or whether that's going to be main stairs and, you know, laundry stairs. It's with the spawns, it's looking like Monty's going to push down laundry stairs, which can be very viable indeed. Bit of a shame the Harriers haven't brought the smoke. That was something that they really struggled to deal with on their attacking rounds when the Nighthawks were bringing the smoke and just shutting down that laundry stairs. But I think it's going to be about the kills. I mean, the book pick for me, bit of an odd one. You know they're going to be going downstairs. There isn't a lot of soft destruction. Doc getting super aggro there and is going to get picked off with ease. That's a little bit of an oversight there. If you're going to be playing an ACOG, you know, try and get yourself down along in sight and keep yourself alive, especially someone like Doc. You're going to be bringing the stim pistols to use them, and essentially the Harriers are just going into this 4 versus 5. Yeah, there is a bulletproof camera at the bottom of main stairs, but Monty is already in at this moment in time. Not Titan making good use of the book there and grabbing a kill for himself. Frost trading it straight back out. Now, Monty's unsupported here. Titan has now made his way down to the bottom of the stairs along with Twitch, and he's going to be waiting for that kill, but it's going to be Slayer Swift that does grab him behind the Monty shield. And another onto the Duke. 2 versus 2 now. Slayer Swift is going to fall for his troubles, but his job has been done. He's managed to get 2 brilliant kills there. Jamie V-Dub now trying to find some of his own. Gets a great wall bang. All of a sudden puts his team in a 2 versus 1. 1 versus 1 as the Valkyrie closes out the dock. Final headshot there from Jamie Dub. Ash doing Ash things. No ACOG required.
There's a slow peak, and then there's 2 assassins there, which was a very, very slow peak with the Valkyrie around that corner, and that allowed Ash to just take his head off and finish the round out for the Norfolk Nighthawks. These 2 absolutely duking this out so far. It is a bit of a slugfest, just absolutely going for each other. So 4 apiece, we see it coming into round number 9. That is going to allow the Kingston Harriers to get themselves back down to laundry and supply, rather than taking the arguably more difficult rear stage or dining area. We're going to see Johnny Matrix just trading out the 6th pick onto that Monty again, so I would imagine we're going to see a fairly similar tactic, but they're going to have to play it a little bit differently than they did last time. Titan and the Twitch, I can't remember who was on the Twitch, both got themselves a little bit stuck at the bottom of main stairs with the Monty further into the room, and that allowed Swift Slayer to get a couple of good kills onto those. So certainly a little bit of work needs to be done on that strategy. If you're going to get Monty downstairs, he still needs to offer protection to those behind him, and he needs really for those players to be challenging as well, rather than just sort of hanging around as they were at the bottom of stairs. We've got a Frost again, we've got 2 Assassin coming with those Valkyrie cams, and we have got Slayer Swift on the mirror this time. I believe that's the first time we're going to be seeing the mirror.
The Harriers needed to do something, and I think if mirror's going to be available, you make a good decision to bring and use the mirror. Not bring in a Jaeger just seems a little bit weird. Not bring in a smoke or a mute. If you're going to be stacking the site and you're going to be trying to play angles down in the site, bring the mute. It's going to deny a lot of information. We've seen so far the Nighthawks are very, very good at droning in. They're not wasting a lot of time roam clearing because they know that there's nobody roaming. They know it's already clear. They've got a man count on site. They know that there's 5 people playing down on the site. You can see Titan there doing a very thorough job. Johnny Matrix just holding off a little bit this time. He's keeping himself alive outside of main door, as he's not really got much of a need to push in. Last time I feel like he got himself a little bit too far in, a little bit too quickly, as he did just sort of find himself a bit unsupported, but this time opting to just hold the angles and play his life for a little bit longer. What an unfortunate circumstance there. Thatcher, not really required, I think that the Ella Grismot mines could be a bit of a nuisance and something that you could look to try and deal with, but a team kill is never good, and Smokey the Bandit is going to make that a 5 versus 3 straight off the rip, as we do see these rounds flipping and flopping. Johnny Matrix still just holding himself inside of that main door. 3 of the defenders on site and 2 upstairs in meeting. Godly Duke still outside of the fight, finding himself over near the construction spawn, and Nade Toss is going to potentially come through from Titan, as he's just looking to open up a bit of an angle and maybe get a bit of a Kobe through, but it doesn't quite go far enough in. He is going to peek off it. He has seen the Ella there, and that's a great peek there. Sorry, it was the Valkyrie. A fantastic, fantastic peek there from Titan, showing great game sense. IQ now is able to join the fight as well, and I'm pretty sure that she did see the Ella just pushing up, but Ella has gone upstairs, knocked down Godly Duke, and that's something that they're going to have to push a little bit quicker than that. Monty is joining now as well. Look at all the time that Smokey the Bandit is able to be eating up here. This is the roam game that you need when you're going to be playing downstairs. Johnny Matrix, it looks as though you should be able to see him, but I think that that's just the outline view that we've got. He knows that he's there now. He's obviously heard that and seen the little bit of movement that there was. But Godly Duke is going to ignore the Ella along with Titan and just try and push down into sight. A little bit unorthodox, but they are greeted now with a mirror window. 30-odd seconds left to go, and it's not looking too good for the Nighthawks.
If that Ella comes down through his stage stairs and cleans them out, I think they are going to be sorry. We see Johnny Matrix just downed on the Monty with a frost mat there, and there comes Smokey the Bandits with the Ella. Really, really essential challenge to be made there. Swept up there by the long Kingston 21 with the final kill onto Godly Duke, and that proved costly. So there was a couple of little mistakes there that added up very, very quickly for Norfolk. First of all, ignoring that Ella and moving downstairs, Monty walks himself into a frost mat, and that downed him and was meant he could be finished straight off. So that was the first mistake. The second, having been leaving that Ella alone and not pushing her or dealing with her in any way, shape or form. She was then able to just move back down those stairs and get a free kill from behind, no trouble at all. So great plays from Smokey the Bandits there, just to waste a lot of time and get those kills.
As much as I don't like the operator lineup that the Harriers are bringing, it's really working for them and they're doing good work with it. I'm not sure we've seen a frost mat yet come to much use, especially downstairs. It's not something that you're really going to be that's going to catch you out, should you say, as an attacker. So maybe switch up the frost, but it's working for them. They're able to pick up the rounds. The roam game that we're seeing come out from the Harriers is exactly what the Nighthawks were missing out on, and they're doing a good job of capitalising on that. But as we've seen, this game is going round for round in either direction, and I'm sure that the Nighthawks have got a couple of rounds left in them. Had they not suffered an early team kill last round, I think it could have been a little bit more, a bit more skewed and a bit more in their favour. But just with the sheer amount of information that they want to gather before they execute, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because they just want to know everything that's going on before they commit to that final execute, they just weren't able to do everything. They weren't able to clear Ella out. They weren't able to drone everything quick enough because they just didn't have the people to hold the angles and the people to jump on the drones as well, because they did lose 2 guys fairly early on. So we could see a bit of a different round coming out this time from the Nighthawks. They were very successful last time that they attacked over onto kids' dorms and bedrooms, so we will have to see what comes through. 2 assassins is the Valkyrie playing downstairs inside a kitchen. I hope he's got a Valkyrie cam outside, because I think the kids' bedroom repel was influential last time. First blood again for the Doc. Not what you want to be seeing if you are a Harriers fan.
Absolutely not. So that's going to be the Doc off the board. 5 versus 4 very early on in round number 10 here. Kingston Harriers desperately want to get this round won, get themselves onto match point, and for the first time for either team put themselves 2 rounds clear of their opponents. That hasn't happened so far in this matchup. It's been very, very tight, bouncing backwards and forwards, always within 1 round of each other. So we're going to have Jamie V'd up on the Jackal there, just pushing downstairs. We've got 3 players pushing this north side, so we're going to be using 2 on kids' windows and then 1 potentially onto the generator window. But Smokey the Bandit's there, just holding that angle onto generator window with the Ella. But what a nade from Titan coming in on that Buck, and we've seen some proficiency from him so far. 2 Assassin using that Valkyrie information though to get a kill on to Godly Duke, so that leaves us 4 versus 3 in favour of Norfolk, and the plant is going down. The plant will stick. How about that? Plenty of time left on the clock, but they've been very decisive, got themselves into sight and got a plant down. Smokey the Bandits will get one. He will see it traded out with Jamie V-Dub getting a headshot of his own, so that leaves us 3 versus 2. Kingston Harriers now defenders turned attackers have it all to do here. We've got the Jackal just trying to see if he can pick up any prints at all. Very good move from Titan there, just to waste a little bit more of that clock. Just dumps a nade in near the diffuser so that nobody can approach it for another couple of seconds. We're going to see Jamie V-Dub on a flank with the Jackal. 2 Assassin will get the first kill onto Johnny Matrix. Smokey with a team kill, and Jamie V-Dub able to then finish things off. What do you think about that, That team kill could be extremely influential in that round. They had 2 operators left on the feet at that point. They get the team kill, that brings it down to a one-man situation, and ultimately they lose it.
Such a shame indeed. We've seen back-to-back team kills on either side in the past 2 rounds, and I think it's just due to how these guys are slugging it out. You said it earlier, it's been a frag fest throughout. We have seen the diffuser go down a couple of times, but it's more often than not coming down to the kills. And in those final couple of seconds when the bullets are flying and you've got that trigger, you've got fire held down, don't hold me responsible for what happens.
Well, I've given up holding you responsible for all the team kills you've put on me.
Calm down. Collateral damage.
You will shoot through me to get a kill, and I'm well aware of it.
Facts.
Moving into, just for anybody who thought about adding X, there's just a little window into what it's like playing with it. So round number 11, we have got 5-all, and absolutely no surprise here. These two teams very, very evenly matched, and we've said countless times, you know, this is a grassroots tournament. We're looking at players getting themselves into competitive play, so yes, you know, there will be mistakes, there might be things that you would do differently or anything else. You know, you're always welcome to get yourselves down there and give this a try. But what we have also said is once we get to evenly matched teams, it doesn't always matter about those little mistakes or anything else. What we do get is a very entertaining game of Siege, and that's what we're seeing so far with these two. Really unpredictable, really difficult to have any idea which way it's going to go. We're just going to see that drone taken out there. 2 Assassin playing down in that dining room area. It's somewhere that he had a lot of success with last time, and really Norfolk here are going to be looking for more of the same. It was a little bit hairy towards the end of it, but will they learn the lessons? They know that they had men playing downstairs and they were hurt by them. Titan with that drone going in, so he probably will see Smokey the Bandits on the Ella down in kitchen there and might just be able to force him out. He's going to look to follow that up with Buck, possibly heading towards that dining area. We're going to see the first kill coming out there for Slayer Swift, so that's going to be 5 versus 4 with the defenders taking the initiative once again in this round number 11. 2 minutes to go here, and Norfolk just stalling out a little bit. We've got Jamie V-Dub all the way over by the back of rear stage. We've got 2 looking to make use of those kids' windows. A lot of persistence around these kids' windows, X, for Norfolk Nighthawks. Do you think it could be their undoing?
It all depends on how the Harriers want to play it. The most effective way of dealing with this, and we've said it before, is either a Valkyrie camera or a Pulse. Pulse is a little bit better because it's a bit more self-sufficient. You can kind of jump in and out of that heartbeat scanner as and when needed. Smokey the Bandit is going to go for the peek out onto the windows, but is going to get cut down by 2 Assassin, traded straight back out by Jamie V-Dub. Jamie does pick up the kill onto Smokey. So a kill for kill. Thatcher and Buck lost on the side of the attack, and Ella lost on the side of the defence, which is just going to make repelling on those kids' windows that little bit safer, as I don't think anybody else is playing on down inside of dining. IQ pick. I guess they are bringing the Valkyrie, so it is very valid indeed. Johnny Matrix just putting a couple of shots there in as the Ying. IQ, as I was just speaking about you. You are going to pick up a kill over onto the Rook. Johnny Matrix still trying to root out Doc, but is going to get killed from Attic. And that just goes to show there's so many angles on that kid's window. You can't play it for free. The defenders now on an absolute tear as we enter a 3 versus 1, as Frost did just grab that kill over onto IQ. Jamie Vidub now with it all to do. He's got to pick up a 4K if he wants to try and clutch this round out for his team. And with the way that things are going, I'm sure we are going to see an overtime in this map 1 for sure. The barbed wire that's on Armory Stairs is going to slow him down, and it is going to alert the defenders to his presence. The frost mat that he almost didn't see. Sheesh. Good grief, Jamie Vidub. Don't do that to us in these situations. Doc's holding the long angle. Shots will be exchanged. Jamie's left with not much choice there. He's got to re-peek it. 1 versus 4. Headshot comes through from the Doc.
Doc using the ACOG on defence very well there. He knows which angles are going to be his strengths, and it's certainly not going to be kids towards White Stairs. So he's got somebody else watching that, and he's going to watch all the way down that long corridor towards Armory there, and that gets him the final kill. So great stuff from the Doc there. Kingston Harriers are only going to get 1 bite at this cherry. So far we've seen them never separated by more than 1 round, so as you said, X, we would expect to possibly see this going to overtime.
I'm not sure if we've seen, I think we've seen like 1 occasion where rounds have been chained back to back.
Yeah, but it's never taken them 2 rounds in front.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, like 3-2 to 4-3.
Yeah. They're on match point now.
Yeah.
I don't think we've seen the Harriers win 2 rounds on defence back to back. It's been very difficult for them so far. You know, for them, this is going to be do or die. They've got to do this now. Last time we saw them defend upstairs, and it did work fairly well for them. The Nighthawks suffered an early team kill, which was unfortunate, but the Harriers capitalised on that, and they really made good use of the roam game that they were trying to pull off upstairs inside a meeting. If Smokey the Bandit and 2 Assassins are able to play upstairs in meeting for as long as they did, I think that this round could easily go to the Harriers.
MC Lima in the chat there, dropping the gauntlet that his boys could probably beat these guys. So you're always welcome, Lima, to get yourself down to your local Belong Arena with your boys and see what you can do. Put the challenge in. You know, they're always looking for more players, and there will hopefully be further arena clashes we will see in the future. This one's done very well. We've got the final yet to come at Insomnia, so you know it would be great to see it expanded a little bit more. But obviously time will tell on that front. But you know, get yourself down there, get in some games, get involved.
It's a lot of fun.
As and when, you know, if we do see more Siege in the arena clash, then you're going to be ready to go. So we've seen 1 kill there with Doc taken off the board. It's 5 versus 4 now in favour of the Norfolk Nighthawks against Kingston Harriers. The defenders having a torrid time of it so far in this first round. They could have done maybe with just like a nice little early kill to get
You're
things
on match
fired
point.
up. That's
like,
it.
We've seen Doc dying early so often. Godly Duke is going to miss out on the gas canister in the mirror ever so slightly. We've seen Doc be first blood like 3 rounds out of 4. You just stop over peaking. You're on match point now. This is a really important game. Winning the first game out of a best of 3 can mean huge things moving later on in. And to lose that early man count, it just you're not bringing anything, especially to die as the Doc, because it's not like you're dying as Valkyrie and you've got 3 cameras out there. You've maybe got a bulletproof at the bottom of Laundry Stairs at best.
And you're taking HP with you. Taking HP with you, another 120 HP potentially going, as well as your death. So we're going to be looking now at the last 1 minute 30, still 5 versus 3. Norfolk taking this patiently. They certainly don't want to throw this round and this map away. As you said, very important early advantage in the first map. Jamie Vidub getting a kill for his team there. We're going to see Titan dumping the nade just to clear out some of that utility. That's going to clear the barbed wire from the bottom of stairs, and
the
safe to take the other, and the bulletproof as well. We see a Valkyrie cam taken out there as well. 5 versus 3, and this is a nicely put together attack so far from Norfolk Nighthawks. They are not rushing things, they're taking it easy. We will see Smokey the Bandit clearing Godly Duke out, and that is the same place that he has played from previously, wasn't cleared out from, and had a field day. Norfolk need to learn here. They need to get Godly Duke sorted out, because otherwise he is going to be the thorn in their side. Meanwhile, Johnny Matrix gets himself downstairs. I think he takes a few shots lots of damage just for his pleasure there, but he will start to get the diffuser down. Unfortunately, Mirror will pop out and miss the shot. Slayer Swift being taken out there, and the diffuser being planted. Not Titan gets his head taken off by the Frost there, who will make a second challenge, but the Candela comes in to make that difficult. Jamie V-Dub gets the kill onto Smokey the Bandit, so that is the Ella taken out. It allows the Jackal to push down Rhea, but will be taken out by the Frost, who is waiting for that after Smokey the Bandit, so that's great use of that information. He's got one in the corner. I think he knows he's there. Can he get this peak? This could be 1 versus 4. That is the first one. Oh, he gets the view onto the second. Can he move? He's just run out of time. That's perfect plays from the Ying. That is exactly what the Ying needed to do, was just get herself away from that fight. Johnny Matrix moves back in for that final kill. It wasn't really necessary. Didn't have time to get the counter diffuse off, and I like what the Ying did there. That was good game sense.
Kingston 21, nearly with the clutch of the tournament. I think that would have probably been the best clutch we've seen if he'd have pulled that off. It was so close to coming through, but like you say, Johnny Matrix played it to perfection, knew he didn't need to take that fight. No doubt at that point his team are screaming, run away. Just run away, please. We're in a 1 versus 4 and we've managed to get it to a 1 versus 1. We are going to visit overtime now, and it has took up until now for the Nighthawks to recognise and bring the Maverick. But the objective that the Harriers are going to be taking us to will be kids' dorms. So, arguably not as effective as it could be if you were looking at maybe attacking onto a laundry, but still a lot of use indeed. We've had such a close game, and it's only map 1. Sometimes I wish that the people watching could sort of see our expressions, because that last round we were sort of like head on our hands, like hands in the air, just sort of going crazy. It was so good to see. So close indeed. But it wasn't to be. The game has followed its form, and we've been seeing one round going either way. Of course, we're now in overtime, so the rounds will switch and the sides will swap every single round. So it will be about which team is able to chain an attack and a defense together until we get to round number 8. So first to 8 will win the overtime.
Certainly will. It was always coming to overtime, was this?
I think I called it about round 7, I think.
It's gone backwards and forwards. These two really slugging it out, and you know, given what we saw last week, it's absolutely no surprise. They were both very competitive in their games, in their semi-finals last week. Both very unlucky not to get themselves to Insomnia, but they are certainly playing for more than pride here. They really want to win, both of these teams. You can see that. So we are still 30 seconds in, 5 versus 5 in the first round of overtime. So we are now best of 3 rounds. The draw on there is just going to see Valkyrie playing in the meeting hall area and probably just chase her out of there before the challenge comes in. But Jamie V-Dub is going to move in there from that rear side. He just allows his shots to fly through that soft wall as well, knowing that the Valkyrie is playing in and around that area. He's going to get the ping now from the draw, and the Valkyrie will no doubt want to find where that is to Assassin. Just holding tight at the minute. Jamie V-Dub looking for that wall bang, but I think he was just got himself behind that hard surface off to the right hand side as we look at meeting hall there. He's going to open that up with a breaching charge. Gets himself upstairs just into a little bit of safety before doing that.
Yeah, a lot of attention really being shown over toward meeting area, but Valkyrie has since rotated underneath and is going to be in laundry. First kill will come through for the dock over onto the IQ, so any remaining Valkyrie cameras will not be dealt with. I'm interested to see where this Maverick is playing currently. Titan grabs one over, as I say that, it's almost like a sixth sense at this stage. On the kid's Windows Repel does find a headshot. He's going to be getting pressured from Jaeger as well, so it doesn't look like he's made all too much use of his blowtorch just yet. But the windows from kids have been very productive indeed. Titan still trying to find the angle over onto Slayer. 2 assassins grabbing one onto Jamie V-Dub, and a second in quick succession for the defenders as Slayer grabs Titan from the windows. Slayer now faced with another one over on the windows. Number 11 does manage to take out the Valkyrie of Assassins, however, but Assassins has done a great job up to this point, wasting a lot of time and picking up kills for his troubles. 2 versus 3 now. Jaeger is super lit indeed. Smokey the Bandit finds one onto Johnny Matrix, making this a 3 versus 1, 2 versus 1. As Thatcher picks up the kill onto Capcan. EMP comes through. That's going to help him make his safe entry. But we've got Frost holding an angle onto 51 window, and Slayer playing over inside of bunks as well. It's going to be a tough job for the Thatcher to try and clutch this one out. He's sitting on about half HP. Jaeger, as we've said, super lit. He's going to rotate over to the window. Frost already holding the angle on it. Great game sense there from the Frost. No doubt there's going to be a Frost mat. No, it's just the barbed wire, but Kingston 21 doesn't need the Frost mat. He's going to come through with the 9mm.
He's got Frost bullets.
He's going to pick up that kill for the defense. So, are Kingston going to be able to take this first map? They have won their defensive phase. We are going to switch. We are in overtime. Match point.
Second attempt for Kingston Harriers to get this one closed out. They did have an opportunity at 6-5, but Norfolk Nighthawks fought very well to get that one back and get themselves into an overtime situation. They will be defending this time, and it's worth remembering that Norfolk haven't defended here for what, 6-7 rounds? It's 7 rounds since Norfolk defended, so it's certainly a break in momentum possibly, but it could be the shift that they need just to get themselves this round before getting themselves back onto the attack to try and take that final match point. But Kingston, I'm sure, are going to be trying their best to avoid that situation, and they're going to want to close things out here and now. So we're going to see the Nighthawks on defence. We're going to see them on top floor. Not too much of a surprise if you remember all the way back to round number 1x. They defended this very well. They did, however, defend it quite poorly later on and were picked off heavily from windows and doors. So not too much of a surprise to see that castle being brought along.
I do like the castle play. The big window was somewhere that the Nighthawks really suffered from, and it's something that we talked about. They didn't have all too much of a roaming presence. They weren't really playing downstairs at all. So to bring the castle, to be able to shut down both of the kids' windows and the main window as well, it's all you need at this point. Johnny Matrix is going to rip that down. That's a shame, Johnny. I'm not sure why. Jamie Vito opting to put the castles on the highway window instead. I'd have thought the value would have been there in putting the castle on the main window there. It is going to get destroyed fairly early on, but it is going to eat up a little bit of that utility, and it is going to stop players like Slayer Swift from playing on that window, because as we saw, Slayer Swift picked up a 3k on that window in a previous round.
With Ying.
With Ying. Playing Ying again. The stars are aligning. Could this be match point for, well, it is match point for the Harriers, but could they clutch this out and take this first map?
2 minutes 30 on the clock then. No surprise to see a cautious start from the Harriers. They certainly don't want to be losing anybody early and taking that hit on the advantage of man count. We're going to see the Blackbeard just, oh no, it's actually the Ying moving forward once again. Slayer Swift moving onto that double window with the Ying LMG. Had so much joy there last time, it's no surprise to see. Shooting through that mattress to see if he can catch anybody, but I don't think he will. There's nobody there to be caught. Shots did go in onto the Rook, who will be finished off by Smokey the Bandit. So great teamwork there between the Ying and the Blackbeard. We've got both of them playing this double window. I'm not sure how necessary that is, especially when they don't have the diffuser. There's only really one angle to be watched there. We're going to see, the nade come in, but the shots will be missed, and Titan will live to fight another day as he gets a kill. There's another one in the corridor there. If he got aggressive, he might just get himself a second, and a second he will get him. That is now the diffuser down as well, so that leaves us 4 versus 3 in favour of the Nighthawks.
Titan doing a great job there for his team, making sure that he is in a position to clutch it out. Bit of an unorthodox position, but he knows that the wall is not going to be open to his back, so he's relatively safe and happy to sit in there. The attack now has shifted, and there isn't a lot of pressure really coming through. Ying is looking to try and get the windows open, but with the mute jammers in place, the breaching charge is not going to detonate, and that isn't something that you want to be finding out at 50 seconds left to go. Smokey the Bandit going to get down at the top of White Stairs as Ying desperately tries to get herself into highway window. Kingston 21 just pressuring from the window. Jaeger getting a bit aggressive. Titan with his 3rd of the round despite his low hit points. Diffuser all the way back in Armory Corridor. This has got to be an easy win for the Nighthawks, and I'm pretty sure that this one is going to go the whole way. Zafir, full health, still possible, got a lot to do. Is going to put the challenge onto the Jaeger, finds the first of 4. Now 1 versus 3. Will she find the second? Gets the tap fire through and finds the head of Johnny Matrix. Down to the pistol now, not choosing to reload. Is she going to find the one onto Jamie V-Dub? Yes, it's now a 1 versus 1. Titan's going to have to go huge for his team and complete the 4K if he does want to clutch out this round. The timer's at 0. Titans, all he's got to do is peek in and grab that headshot. Closer than they would have liked, but the Nighthawks clutch it out nonetheless. And we're going to the maximum rounds available. 7-7 currently. This is do or die.
Seat of the pants stuff there in that round, bringing us to round number 15 here on Oregon, and that really is a good signal of what I think we're going to see over the next couple of maps as well. I see we've got one of our British Challenger League players joining us in the chat there. Hello Dorky, good evening, thank you for joining us. So we are 7 apiece here, Kingston Harriers and Norfolk Nighthawks. Which way is this going to go? It really is the toss of a coin. We're going to see the Kingston Harriers taking the defence downstairs to Laundry and Supply. We've got no hard breach available with Thermite and Hibana banned, but we won't see the Maverick brought. Very strange that we saw a Maverick brought earlier on sort of a Dorms objective, but not being brought for this. Get that hatch open. But I can't remember the last time that Kingston Harriers defended this site, which way it went, unfortunately. But this is a big one. This is a big one. In fact, this is the one we've seen Smokey the Bandit playing absolute havoc on the rear stage area and not being cleared out of tier 2 and 3 of Big Tower. But this time he's gone for the Capcan instead of the Ella, so are we going to see a different game coming out? Quite interesting to see. We've got changes on both sides, so no Ella, we've got Capcan coming in, we've got Finker coming in for the first time on the attacking side, so those lineups really being switched up here.
Both teams are just trying to throw the kitchen sink at it at this stage and just figure out what's not been working and what they need to change. Bringing the Finker on the side of the Nighthawks, I don't necessarily think it's going to do them any harm. We've seen how popular Finker can be in this tournament so far, and if the push comes through aggressively, which I believe it's going to, I think the Finker could see a lot of use. But Smokey the Bandit, I like the read, I like the Capcan play, because he has been playing Ella quite a lot in T2, which has been working out very well. But just switching things up, going for the Capcan. I don't think we've seen the Harriers bring a Capcan up to this point, so it's not necessarily something the Nighthawks are going to be looking for. All it takes is a couple of those to start going off, and the hit point starts to fall in your favour. So could play quite well for them indeed. I think a bonus for the Harriers at this stage is that Doc is still alive. Nearly 40 seconds
into the round.
Because, you know, historically, Doc on this objective, he's been dying out very early indeed, and that's going to make things a lot easier for the Harriers in those final moments of the round. The push, very tentative now from the Nighthawks. You can just see how much is on the line with how slowly these guys are progressing on into the building.
You can feel it. You can feel it in the players, the way they're moving in and then ducking back out. No surprise to see that we've got somebody over on the rear stage there. That's something on the defence that Kingston Harriers have had a lot of success with. It looks like Jamie V-Dub could come to blows. We've got 2 drones not being used there, and we've got a player just through the door, but I think he will get the call. The shots rain through that soft surface and will land onto 2 Assassin, doing some damage, but not quite enough. Jamie V-Dub now playing cautiously around that door and just holding his angle so that they can't be pushed by the Valkyrie. But how about that? They can be pushed and will be pushed as 2 Assassin gets the kill through the soft wall onto Jamie V-Dub. That is a big one, and a second one follows. We're going to lose the Thatcher as well here, so that now leaves us 5 versus 3, and the Kingston Harriers have all the cards. The Assassin, 2 Assassin, has really stepped up his play these last few rounds, especially when he's been able to play Valkyrie, and he's done some fantastic work. We've got Doc just holding an angle and will take the head off Titan as the Jackal tries to move down main stairs. Kingston Harriers really pushing to take control of this fixture and get the first map in the bag. That's another headshot from the Doc, this time onto Johnny Matrix. He will wish that he hadn't poked himself headfirst around the stairs there. Just misses him coming out, but he will get the 3K onto Finker. That will finish things off for the Kingston Harriers. Map number 1 going in their favour. That really could have gone in either direction.
Look what happens when Doc stays alive. What a 3K. Brilliant.
You called it. You
called it. Just stay alive. Don't peek early. You've got a great weapon. All the utility. Obviously got a good aim. Harriers coming in clutch with that first round. What a game. I feel like I've been through the mill there, and it's only map 1 of a best of 3.
This is, you know, This is what we've said countless times. We've got, a mixture of abilities all coming in these teams together, and it's the first sort of foray into competitive play. But all that we really need is two evenly matched teams, and you get an entertaining fixture, even if it might not be what you see from Pro League, it might not be what you see from other places, but it just doesn't matter. If you've got two teams slugging it out like this, it's a joy to watch.
And they're very well matched. I think both teams have only lost one game so far this season. So, I mean, that speaks to itself as to how well matched these two teams are, and it's no real surprise that we saw Oregon as a pretty 50-50 map anyway, just go the entire distance, all 15 rounds being played. So yeah, it was great to see. Very enjoyable, and I think next map, I'm expecting more of the same. I think it's going to go to 3 maps. I'm going to call it right now.
I think at this point, we've seen this happen before, yeah. If you remember. And it ended up in a 45-round thriller. So, we'll see how we go. I believe we're just going to give the players a little comfort break, and maybe ourselves as well. We're going to take a 5-minute break after that 15-round thriller, and we will be back for map number 2 to see if the Kingston Harriers can finish off this best of 3 or not. We're going to be heading onto Border, and I think that's going to be a real cracker of a map between these two.
Yeah, definitely. Again, it plays very similarly to Oregon. There's very established ways in how you want to take that map. There's very established pushes and holds. So it's similar to Oregon. I think if we're going to see the same thing again, I'm pretty sure of it. Another 15-rounder. Calling it now.
So don't go anywhere. There is a lot more entertaining Siege that is going to be coming your way very shortly. We will take a 5-minute break, and we will see you back here for the continuation of this third, fourth playoff position arena clash.
see the stars. There are so many stars, but when you shine, you burn my heart and set me up in flames. 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 Set me up in Your light shines through the darkness, darkness. Your light shines through the darkness, darkness, Your light shines through the darkness of my heart. I can't look away. You burn into me so I can't look away.
Hello and welcome back to the Belong Arena Clash for Rainbow Six Siege. I am Ace of Pyra, and still with me is the still wonderful and still present Exotroika.
I've not gone anywhere just yet after that first game. I don't think you at home would want to go anywhere, because what a game we saw. All 15 rounds available on Oregon, ending in an 8-7 going to Kingston Harriers. Could have gone either way, and I'm sure that we're going to see more close rounds, games, maps in this next matchup. So we are going to be moving on to Border. That is going to be the second game of our best of three.
It is indeed. We saw Kingston Harriers take the first from the Norfolk Nighthawks. This is the fourth playoff for the Belong Arena Clash. Of course, the finals will be coming between the Plymouth Armada and Bristol Smugglers next week at Insomnia. X and I will be joining you for that and bringing you all the action around the same time next Friday, so make sure to join us. We've built a nice little Friday community here, seeing the same names in the chat and a lot of support for these two teams. So we will be heading into map number 2 then, which will be on Border. As we said previously, I think it's going to be a fantastic map for these two to really throw down on. We saw a very even game on Oregon, and I think in the same way we're probably going to see a very even game here on Border. Glad to see that we're not going to have the double hard breach ban this time, X.
It just makes things a little bit easier for the attackers, I guess, and that's certainly one of the reasons why we saw such a back and forth map on Oregon, is due to the double hard breacher ban. You can see the Buck ban coming out along with the Ying for the attackers, so maybe a bit of a target ban there onto Not Titan. He put the Buck to very good use. Legion again being a ban that we saw in Oregon, and I'm expecting Echo, maybe Maestro, maybe
Echo,
Mirror.
Maestro, Mirror.
One of the three.
One of the
or
above.
shock us and ban something like Pulse, but no. It is going to be Echo. So again, Maestro available. We saw Maestro available for the entirety of Oregon. He got through the ban phase, and I don't believe we saw him played. We saw a lot of Doc, we saw a lot of Rook. We didn't see Maestro play. We saw Mirror make away in. We only saw Mirror in a handful of rounds. So it seems as though the bans are working. I think the bans are maybe, you know, pretty well rehearsed at this stage. I think both teams have got good ideas on what they want to ban and why. Ying, how much value did Ying bring on Oregon? We saw that push coming through. Slayer making great use of Ying from double window. You know,
yeah, the LMG definitely being put to work.
Multiple uses there, and I think it's good to see teams making bans based on what's happened in map 1, because it means that they're going to be adapting and they're looking toward map 2 and how they can improve and what things they can do differently.
Round number 1 then, we're going to be heading to Armoury Lockers and Archives. Not too much of a surprise there. The more popular defending site. We've got the Norfolk Nighthawks on defence for the first 6 rounds, and we will see the Bandit being brought. Not too much of a surprise there, so it looks like we're probably going to have an attempt to Bandit trick and keep them out of this west wall area. Now, I've been saying this for a little while, Lex, and I think you know what I'm going to say when it comes to Armoury Lockers. So far in the Arena Clash, we've seen an awful lot of pressure repeatedly being applied to the west balcony, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but what I want to see, bring it to me, Kingston Harriers, come on, let's have a little bit of pressure put onto the office side as well.
Yeah, it's when you've got both hard breaches available, there's no reason why you shouldn't be bringing both of them. Looking to open up office wall with Hibana from the window, very easy to do, and opening up armory wall with the thermite just provides that, you know, double penetration, if you will, double layer of attack. And you can also get over onto vents as well, onto vents window. That can be a really powerful place to play, especially if you look to bring something like a Blackbeard. So just really trying to figure out how best to attack this, and you've got to be confident in being able to split yourself up as attackers, and make sure that you're able to competently attack from either side, as opposed to really relying on having everybody there to do one of the tasks.
Certainly. So we are now 1 minute into the round, and again a tentative start. We can see Kingston Harriers have got some good early control of CCTV, and that is an important factor here on Border. You've got those 2 corners of the map, office and CCTV, both important. So we're going to see Thermite getting that west wall open. I'd love to see him rotate all the way around and start working towards office, but I don't think that is going to be the case. We're going to lose 1, and this is why it's good to apply some pressure to the office. Ice Keens with a double kill on the Maestro. We've seen Ice Keens and what he can do on that Maestro previously, so no surprise to see him come in getting a quick double kill there, and that is basically your west balcony push suffering a major setback, but Smokey the Bandits will get Ice Keens rooted out, so that could be positive. Smokey the Bandits with a second onto Titan. Godly Duke will get one of his own, so 3 versus 2. We do see the diffuser going down now, so just inside the door. How cheeky is that from the Finker? Smokey the Bandits with the third there onto Godly Duke. He's looking at a potential ace here, is Smokey the Bandits. He's got his sights in the right direction, but that wall will just stop him getting the shots, and Jamie V-Dub will come in and end any hopes that he could have had of an ace there. So that leaves us 1 versus 2. Slayer Swift has got the diffuser down. In come the shots. He will get the down onto the Valkyrie. Leave him alone, Slayer Swift. All you need to do is focus on Jamie V-Dub, and that's what he will do. A great double kill from the Finker there. Well played, Slayer Swift, to get that one closed out for his team with the diffuser down, and that is the first round going to the Kingston Harriers.
Good round indeed. Didn't look like a round that they were going to win after the early success that Ice King saw on the Maestro, picking up that 2k, but they were able to compose themselves and pick up the frags as and when they were required. Norfolk Nighthawks are going to have a bit of a tough time, it looks like, upstairs in Armoury. The Harriers very confident on how they want to attack and play onto that site. It is going to force the Nighthawks to switch things up and go downstairs to Armoury Lockers and keep upstairs into Armoury Lockers and Archives. So they are going to give it a second chance. I did think they were going to switch off, but no, they are going to go back upstairs. What are they going to be able to do differently this round? Mirror is available, so Mirror could be an operator that you look to bring, and you do look to try and play inside of offices, try and play and hold on to Armoury Wall for a little bit longer. Place the Mirror on the left hand side right next to the door, open up a bit of CCTV, and just not really allow the Harriers any ground in CCTV for free, because leaving that wall closed, the wall into CCTV, you're just giving them a bit of a safe haven there, and they can start working the way and they can start finding angles. So that's maybe something to consider for the Nighthawks, as I think it was Sledge that got himself well established in there straight away. Ice Kings did get the double, but you can't rely on that every single round.
You certainly can't, and like you say, it was a good double to start things off, but ultimately it wasn't enough, and so they do need to change up what they've done here. And like you say, I think mirror of any of the sites on board, this is the one to bring her. It really is. Like you say, you can get that left-hand side of that wall mirrored up. You can also play one looking into office to avoid a push from there as well, and she really does offer an awful lot. We're going to have Titan playing there just behind the half wall. He's had the floor opened up so he can hold an angle down to anybody trying to get underneath those bandits and open them up. He can get a nice angle through ventilation door there, but it is a common place to hide out, so it's something he needs to be careful with, and there is the potential for a reverse challenge there. The Harriers getting a good first kill there, taking the Rook off the board. His gadget job will be largely done. We're going to see Ice Keen's moving out and getting the challenge on that east balcony, so that is going to be Thermite taken out. That's the hard breach, and just as you commented, X, sometimes there is a lot of value in bringing both of them. We're going to see the Kingston Harriers getting that second kill onto Titan, and they're going to have no choice but to start pushing the doors and windows here without being able to open any of the reinforced walls now that Thermite has been taken out. And that will be Godly Duke getting a kill to bring us to 3 versus 3 and a second. He's starting to dominate this site with a kill onto 2 assassins. So Norfolk, absolutely no surprise to see them fighting back here. Ice Keen's with a kill onto Slayer Swift. Smokey the Bandits gets one on to Godly Duke. This is going to have to be a 1 versus 3 clutch if he's going to achieve it. He's got all the time in the world. He doesn't, however, have all the hit points in the world. He's down to 25, 24, I think it probably is. So he's potentially one shot here, depending which gun hits him. He's just going to look to slowly peek around here. He doesn't. Oh, he does have the diffuser in hand. This could be a very good decision from Smokey the Bandits, unless he's going to be challenged by Jamie V-Dub. He pulls off the diffuser and will be able to make the challenge, but he won't win the gunfight, and Jamie V-Dub gets the kill. I think Smokey the Bandits made a very good attempt there, to be fair. 1 versus 3, he got the first kill. He took the opportunity to see about getting that diffuser down. He even faked it and looked to take the gunfight, but just couldn't get it done when it came down to it.
No, not managing to clutch out the round for his team, but he was in a very difficult position when we did get there. I think Godly Duke picking up that 2k on into sight was one of the more influential plays of that round, as it did just allow the defenders that little bit of breathing room that they were desperately needing. The push was coming through from both sides very effectively from the Harriers. Despite losing out on the Thermite, they were making good use of pushing through the doors, and Godly Duke just picking up a nice 2k there from different angles really helps out his team indeed. They are going to switch off now, and we are going to see downstairs, which is maybe, well, obviously the second choice bomb site, as there's, you know, not really that many bomb sites that are seen as totally viable on border. We're mainly looking at armory and ventilation. Tellers and bathroom can be a little bit sketchy, and customs is certainly doable, but it does rely on a very comprehensive hold from upstairs, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just see the same two, depending on, of course, if the defenders do start to chain rounds together, and then of course we will have to see a customs. But for now, down to ventilation and workshop, and it looks as though we are going to see the Nighthawks invest in some utility upstairs, which is always good.
I have absolutely no doubt that this match is going to continue in this fashion, and they're just going to trade off round after round after round. We can see Ice Keen's putting that bailiff to good work there, just getting that wall opened up so that he's got the rotation through into bathroom. Unfortunately, a melee will not do the job for you on those wooden battens. It's going to take another shot, Ice Keen's, and there he has his rotation. So he's going to look to just peek that bathroom window with the Alder there. There's nobody there at present, but we did see from the silhouette the potential for 2 assassins to be looking to enter in through there, so that could be a challenge Ice Keen's will make. He will almost certainly have heard that barricade being broken out. We can see him just moving towards the door there, but I think the drone just stopped him in his tracks and just forced him back into bathroom, so we can see 2 assassin, I think, getting the information that Maestro is in there. But Godly Duke been so good for his team so far and continues to be. be, gets himself a double kill as they try to get in and take top floor control. He just didn't react to that nade coming through the hole that told him that there was an operator there. Meanwhile, 2 Assassin gets a kill down in bathroom onto the Maestro. Jamie V-Dub trading that out with one onto Slayer Swift. 2 Assassin with a second for his team. So that leaves us 2 versus 2 now. We've got Valkyrie and Smoke against Thermite and Thatcher. A better combination I don't think you can find in Siege, but can they work together to get this one closed out?
Bit of a shame there from the Godly Noob, because he did such a good job of making sure that he got those 2 kills, but Jamie V-Dub is going to push through and find their headshot. 2-1 now. It is all down to Thermite. Diffuser did not get planted. No smoke canisters required. Jamie V-Dub still playing the top of main stairs. And this is going to be a very difficult position now for Belong 21 Kingston. He does recover the diffuser and he could look to get a plant off, but I'm pretty sure that Valkyrie has got a camera just to the top right of his head above that door. He's going to look to push on and try and find 1 kill onto the smoke, which he doesn't find. The SMG-11 there shredding at close range.
Always a difficult challenge onto Titan there. We've seen he's really warmed up and playing well all over the head there. Absolutely no chance. But I think that round pretty much hinged on the top floor play from Godly Duke. Got himself 2 very good kills upstairs. It was just a shame on that third one. He saw the nade coming through the hole, and I know it's difficult to react so quickly sometimes, but it told him that's where there's another operator pushing you, and he just turned his ADS away and lost the gunfight.
The thing is, at the point where you've picked up 2 kills like that, you don't need to do much more for your team. Just run, like, you know, or just really hold a really tight angle and don't really expose yourself. Wait to get droned out and try and get your teammate to back you up over inside of CCTV, which I think Jamie V-Dub was heading on through to do, or maybe it was Titan. But just the rest of the team just fell apart in those final couple of seconds. It got really close then for the Harriers. It looked as though they were going to clutch out that round. I think if the plant had gone down and there hadn't been so many Valkyrie cameras there that were providing the information for the remaining defenders on the Nighthawks, it could have been a different round indeed. We are going to look now to customs, as we have of course seen the Nighthawks winning 2 rounds back to back, so they do have no other choice but to go downstairs into the customs. So they're going to have to hold upstairs fairly well. They've got a castle, so that shows that they are going to look to maybe castle up some of those CCTV windows. But no, the Godly Duke is going to choose to put one on main lobby and bathroom. Maybe not so typical. Top floor control is very important, especially as the Harriers have been bringing a sledge pretty much every round. That sledge is going to make very short work of the floor up inside of CCTV. So I think that's where the main push should come through from the Harriers. Alternatively, if they do wish, they could look to get themselves inside of Passport, and they'd be fairly safe in doing so because no players can rotate from outside of ventilation or bathroom because of that castle barricade. If they get themselves inside to Passport and they get the wall open, that could be pretty good as well. Detention is going to be a fairly difficult task, as Jamie V-Dub has got a couple of batteries on it. It will be EMP'd off. But I don't really like opening this if you know someone's playing inside of that little connector in between those 2 rooms, in between detention and the small supply room, because it can just be so difficult. It's such a hard angle to attack onto as an attacker. You're much better off opening Passport side, in my opinion.
No real attempt made so far from the Kingston Harriers to take any meaningful top floor control. We can see Sledge and Zafir getting in there. Over a minute gone so far, and that was largely gifted to them, so I would have liked to have seen them in there quicker just to support the players opening up that detention wall. You can get some angles down into there, but we've got the detention wall open. We have lost a man. We will lose another on the defence there, so that brings us to 5 versus 4 now as it stands. We've got Maestro on half health as well. Sledge is now upstairs just looking to open up some angles around that hatch, as Thermite won't be up there with him to open it. Slayer Swift getting one of his own. Titan does manage to get a kill by rotating back upstairs on the Valkyrie. He's going to have to go all the way through Tellers to get himself back, but that is worthwhile from the Valkyrie. Jamie V-Dub with 1 onto 2 Assassin, and things quickly starting to fall apart for the Kingston Harriers here, as we are 3 versus 3, and all of a sudden things are starting to look very difficult. Good challenge coming in onto Bandit, taking about 75 health off him. He's just going to lie himself down, as you suggest. X hold a really hard angle there. Slayer Swift with a kill onto Titan, so that will be the Valkyrie. Traded straight back out though, and traded straight back out again by Smokey the Bandit, as that leaves us now 2 versus 1 with a super lit Bandit. It's surely going to be over very, very quickly. Bandit has no choice but to duck further inside detention, and there it comes, the final kill. As expected, round number 4, Kingston Harriers 2 apiece.
The Harriers stepping it up there and really taking advantage of a bit of an off-bomb site, I think. It's not something that you really expect to win downstairs in Customs. It can be very difficult to defend. There's just far too many reinforced walls. There's far too much ground to cover in that respect for the Nighthawks. And, you know, they just got picked off ever so slowly. So the Harriers now mounting the comeback, as it were. But again, not more than a round separating these two teams so far. Back upstairs to Armory Lock as we go. The Harriers did a great job of winning this in their first, well, in the first round of this map. But then the Nighthawks came back with a really good response and were able to clutch things out. So again, these teams are almost inseparable. It's not really coming down to, you know, either team making humongous mistakes. It's just coming down to good individual plays and good plays on the side of either side. You know, whoever the round is going in favour of, it's not that the losing side makes a lot of mistakes. It's that the winning side's, you know, doing something a little bit different or winning a couple more gunfights. Godly Duke so far, we've seen him going off. He's been picking up pretty much 2Ks every single round, so he's certainly one that I'd be keen to keep an eye on. You can see him there, just getting himself ready to play behind half wall with an ADS down there. Ice Keens as well, being someone that's done some very good work for the Nighthawks so far. So it all kind of hinges on this Thermite, I think. We saw the Thermite get picked off in the last in the second round, and things didn't really go too well for the Harriers. We saw Thermite manage to get a couple of walls open in the first round attacking onto this, and, you know, things went a bit better. So a bit of a sign there, maybe the Thermite needs to just try and stay alive and not get peeked out at the top of East Stairs. That could be a combination of things, a bit more drone work, maybe a Claymore, maybe a bit more support from his team.
Yeah, you need Thermite just droning in for your fraggers, I think, at that point. Keep him safe. Get your fraggers to get control of the top of East Stairs and look to be moving in towards office before you send your Thermite in. But we're going to have Slayer Swift to just move in very swiftly as the thinker there, getting towards a CCTV push as it stands. Looking just to have a peek around. Nothing there by the looks of things. Thatcher EMP going in, so that's going to clear the west balcony wall now. So it's time to get Thermite on there, get that opened up, and then think about applying some pressure from elsewhere as well. The bandits have been placed again, so trying a bandit trick there. Here comes the trick from Jamie V-Dub. He will get the first of Thermite's exothermic charges, I believe. Couldn't see if it had been actually positioned or not, or whether he baited that out, but Titan will get the kill onto Smokey the Bandit, so that leaves us 5 versus 4 in favour of the defenders. Here comes the exothermic charge, and Jamie V-Dub is not going to be in a position to do anything about that this time. Norwich with another kill, so that's now 5 versus 3, 5 versus 2 as Ice Keens gets another. Jamie V-Dub steps outside onto the west balcony and gets the Thermite just after he opens that breach up. The Assassin with it all to do. Godly Duke, you predicted it earlier. He's getting kills every round here, X, and that will be round number 5 in favour of the Norfolk Nighthawks.
The Norfolk Nighthawks here are looking fairly well placed on border. We're seeing the rounds that they're winning are very convincing indeed. They're on a bit of a decent stretch, I'd say, in this being the last round of the current phase that we are in. So this is, of course, the last round where the Nighthawks are on defence, and the last round where the Harriers are on attack, providing, of course, that we don't go to an overtime. But to come out of border at 3-3, or, you know, 4-2, I think the Nighthawks would be very happy with that indeed. It would prove a pretty good showing for them. You know, Oregon played out the same way. We were sitting at exactly the same scoreline at this point in Oregon, and we did, of course, see that go 3-all. So certainly possible for the Harriers to start clutching things out. I like the addition of the Maverick. That could provide them another line of sight. But maybe they're bringing it on the wrong bomb site. Maybe they should have brought that when they were attacking on upstairs onto Armory. And I'm not sure that that's going to provide all too much value looking onto ventilation, unless they manage to get themselves over on into bathroom and sneakily open up a couple of lines of sight in that back wall. that's maybe a possible, you know, good use for it. But ultimately, Thermite on this objective is not required. It's not necessary. The Maverick could do the job on its own, and you could look toward more of a Zafir or something that's going to be able to deal with these Maestro cameras a little bit more, because I think that's something that the Nighthawks are doing very good at, is providing themselves with a lot of information.
Yep.
We've seen a lot of Valkyrie play, we've seen a lot of Maestro play, they're giving themselves the information that they need.
Absolutely. So looking towards round number 6 then, we can see those mute jammers just going down to try and deny any entry. We see an early Thatcher grenade, but it looks like we're going to have the bandit reapplied there for a potential, it would be a potential bandit trick, but Thermite isn't in the building, so it looks like it was just a sort of a preemptive Thatcher grenade that took out some of those electronic devices the Claymore placed on the drone hole there, so could catch somebody out as they move through the rotation hole into ventilation potentially. And we're going to see some good early progress here. We've got Maverick just opening up that bathroom wall and looking to get a view, a line of sight, anything at all into the objective, see if he can pick any cheeky kills up. He needs to be careful though, because those do work in both directions, as we know, so he's going to just be peeking a tight angle there, and as I said, they do work in both directions. Titan getting the kill onto Slayer Swift and taking the Maverick off the board, so that's 5 versus 4, but we will have Rook down, so effectively 4 versus 4. Jamie V-Dub moving in and getting a kill for the Norfolk Nighthawks, bringing them effectively to 4 versus 3, but Rook will now be picked up, so that is 5 versus 3. Smokey the Band is upstairs with the Blackbeard. Sledge joining him now, so I was going to just query that, because obviously Blackbeard doesn't have any direct ability to be breaching the floor, but Sledge will join him and start opening things up. 1 minute 15 left to go, and they're going to have to make this vertical presence felt if they want to do anything in this round.
Yeah, to have three attackers left to all be upstairs trying to find angles, it's definitely possible, but if you get a pick, you really got to act on it very quickly. And you know, Caster's Curse, it's all of a sudden 3 versus 3, and the push can start to come through a little bit more. Thermite playing outside of main door, just looking to find himself an angle over on into ventilation. Smokey the Bandit playing on side of the hatch, and Sledge up above as well. 21 is going to push in, he is going to come head to head with the Doc, but gets caught in a crossfire, not Titan there with a brilliant rotate over on into Customs. Sledge is going to trade it out, however, taking out that last remaining Rook. Smokey the Bandit now is aware of somebody playing over inside a Customs, slow peeking around the corner. We've already seen the SMG eat through one Blackbeard shield, but no, it's going to be Smokey the Bandit finding that headshot. He lost a lot of hit points for his trouble. Jamie V-Dub now, last man standing, gets the knife onto the Sledge. Bandit is lit. Sorry, Blackbeard is lit. He's going to get shot through the wall. Jamie V-Dub clutching things out. Nighthawks on defense, coming out 4-2 out of their defensive phase. Again, that's information that's given from that Evil Eye camera. They've always got the intel. It is worth mentioning that this is Norfolk Nighthawks map pick as well. So for them to come out 4-2, they are going to be pretty pleased with that, I am sure.
Round number 7 then, Norfolk Nighthawks managing to finally get themselves some breathing room in between these two teams. We haven't seen a team yet go more than 1 round ahead, so I'm sure Norfolk are going to be very happy with that to try and get themselves some sort of advantage here 4-2 as they move on to the attack. If they can get the first round or 2 here, X, they put a strong claim to take this second map on border and get themselves into the 3rd map, which I don't think would be any surprise for anybody that's been watching so far. These two have been very, very evenly matched. This is, as I said, the first time that we've seen any breathing room between the two of these teams. We do only have the 1 hard breacher again, so it is going to be focused around Thermite to be doing any of the breaching. We're going to be upstairs in Armory. We do have the mirror this time of Slayer Swift, so we'll see how and where he places those black mirrors, probably out on that west balcony wall, I'd imagine. I'd like to see him get his shotgun out and just start opening up that CCTV soft wall, as you said, X. It's a fantastic one to get. I've got countless kills through into CCTV there as players try to take, don't shake your head at me, as players try to take control of CCTV. We see 1 mirror played inside the small office, which isn't massively uncommon. We've commented on this before, playing the soft wall off to the right of the mirror here. Very, very dangerous tactic. We've got an Ash on the other side, and this wall can be very easily opened up. Can still be challenged by the mirror, but if you get yourself up onto the balcony off to the right-hand side on rappel, you can actually kill the mirror through that soft wall. Yeah,
that mirror setup, I don't mind it, but I think it's just really hard to achieve. But I think 2 assassins with the early peak is going to make things a little bit easier, and maybe the Harriers are wishing that they brought a bandit, having had the thermite taken off straight away. That could make holding on to any reinforced walls a little bit easier, but they have not got any hard breach tunnel, and thermite is going to be allowed safe passage to open up whatever he may want. Rook has paid a heavy price for that early spawn peak. He's sitting on around 5 hit points, and I think his location is largely known to the attackers, and he's just got to try and play his life out for as long as he can. C4 toss comes through from Smokey the Bandit, and that's going to be Pulse making good use of the heartbeat scanner. As Slayer Swift has also used the C4 as well, just trying to keep this Blitz at bay, but Blitz is going to be allowed to get himself onto next to the door. The peak comes through. Smoke canister does get tossed out as well, so Slayer Swift in a bit of a sticky situation here. Thermite going to try and open up the wall, which, you know, the smoke canister used isn't really that bad there. It's allowed safe passage through, and now Titan is able to pick up some kills. We had a bit of comments earlier in the chat saying that Titan is a bit of a demon on the shield, and he's proving it there with a down over onto Mirror, but she will be revived. In the meantime, Ash has been taken out, not Titan coming through, making use of the pistol, challenging onto the Mirror. Can he find another? He does! Double headshot for the Blitz, and he's still allowed to push on in. The Mirror to his side will be a bit of a tricky situation, but the plant is going down. Smokey the Bandit is unaware, he's not even peeking. Ice Kings is keeping him busy from metal stairs. The shots come through, but no, they don't connect. The diffuser will be planted. Smokey the Bandit is going to be downed. 21 is going to take out number 11. As 21 now, Rook is on the flank over inside of CCTV. 2 versus 1. He's got 2 shields to go up against as Ice King's already finished off Smokey the Bandit. Titan with the 3K, finishing things off with the melee. What a round there for the Harriers. They've really come out to play.
We've heard about Titan on the shield, and he was not messing about there. It is fair to say Norfolk certainly wanting to win this one, moving into round number 8, 5-3 at the advantage now. And how about that from Titan? Got himself in with a lovely double pistol headshot, got the diffuser down himself, got the final kill. It was a one-man army. It was a one-man army there.
Nighthawks are looking a lot better than they did over on inside of Oregon.
Much better than Oregon.
This is their map pick, so that could have something to say about that. But also, those with a keen eye at home will have noticed that we have lost Johnny Matrix, and he has been replaced by Ice Keens. So they are actually choosing just to sub out as and when. I think they're just trying to give everybody a fair shot at the
yeah, I think they probably are. It's 3rd, 4th. It's, you know, it's
a big game.
To get everybody a game, and you want to win and get that 3rd place.
Johnny Matrix had 2 kills at the end of Oregon. Ice Keens, I think he's already sitting on around 6, 7.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. 7. 7 kills, 2 assists, and 4 deaths is nothing to be sniffed at, especially out of 7 rounds. That's a kill per round. He's been picking up multiple in a couple and none in others, but big impacts for his team. And Nighthawks are telling us that this is going to a 3rd map.
Of course, it's going to a 3rd map. So 5 versus 2 is the scoreline as we head into round number 8. Norfolk Nighthawks doing a very good job on that first attack of theirs, and they're going to be playing upon the top floor again here. Interesting to see that right-hand wall this time has been reinforced next to the mirror rather than playing it with a half soft wall. Very risky strategy, although we will see the mirror placed in the middle again. This is something that we've discussed previously. It doesn't get you too much of an advantage in sight. You don't get to see very much more around that corner, but it does make it more difficult for your challenge. We prefer to see the mirror hard over to the left near that soft door. Soft door ripped out, the soft wall in front of you shot out. That gives you view completely through CCTV. You can still challenge anybody moving from the balcony to try and push your location. It's just generally a bit more efficient and a bit more impactful, but we'll see how that plays out as the round goes on. 2 minutes to go, still 5 on each side, and a tentative start from the Nighthawks this time.
The Nighthawks are going to be feeling the pressure. They're on round number, you know, they're on 5 rounds. They're only a couple of rounds away from clutching this one out, and they're not really going to want to make too many mistakes. What about that? 2 assassins showing us the MPX and all of its glory, finding the headshot onto Ice Kings. Almost a bit of Caster's Curse there, sorry buddy. As we've just been saying about all the good work you've been doing, you do get your head cleanly removed. Titan will trade it straight back out, however, but I'm sure that there are some black eye cameras remaining. Jamie V-Dub with a great headshot there as the Ash over onto the dock. And the push for the Nighthawks is looking pretty good so far. Jamie V-Dub looking to push out over onto East Stairs. The player has dropped. Good game since there. Shows him just to peek on down. Going to do a bit of a bait and switch. Throws the stun but doesn't look to push it all too much. Knows that his value is going to be in on the site, as if the rest of his team are pushing through and he's able to get a crossfire established, it could be successful. But Slayer Swift is going to find one down onto the Jackal. Jamie V-Dub will go back and start pushing the site. The shotgun comes out from Slayer Swift. Full white flash. What is going on? Ash is downed and will be finished off with the ITA. Double mirror placement, well, mirror placement there on a double reinforced wall isn't going to do you any favours. Looking to try and deny that plant. Slayer Swift is left with no choice. Got to push around and try and find these kills. No, the defuse will go down as Norwich number 11 on the Thermite does take out the mirror. Smokey the Bandit, 1 versus 2 effectively. Does find one. He's already found the other, but no! Thermite well placed inside a CCTV. Smokey the Bandit. It was almost like he was at the buffet table and he didn't know what he wanted. There was just everything there looked so good and he was just picking at it all, but it was the Thermite that clutched things out in the end.
At the buffet table, there you have it.
I'm hungry.
What would you go for, X? The chicken leg? The vol au vent?
Chicken leg, cheesecake, vol au vent.
Chicken leg, man. All
standard.
So we will look towards round number 9 then. Match point for the Norfolk Nighthawks, and we've seen a very different team coming out this time. They've looked confident, they've looked sure of themselves, both on defence and attack. They've had a plan. They've done very well at opening up that west balcony. I don't think the defence has always been set up in the best way. You commented there, X, on the double reinforcement in the small office with the mirror. Yes, it allowed them to see the plant that was going down. It didn't allow them to actually do anything about it.
No, it gives you good visibility into the bomb site, but you can't do anything with that information. And it's a bit of a shame, really, because it's so easy to just put the one reinforcement on it or no reinforcements on it and just try and shoot it out a little bit and just deny that little safe haven. And that really could have been a turning point in the round, because Mirror was pretty much useless inside of that small closet. So bit of a shame there, really, for the Harriers. I think that could have been a round that they would have done a little bit better at had they had a bit of a different setup there, because, you know, with Mirror being stuck in there, if she's got a C4, she's not really able to do anything with it and not really able to affect the outcome of that diffuser going down at all.
That's it. It's like one of them situations where you watch something bad happen, but you can't actually do anything about it. Everything goes into slow motion. You can stand and watch the plant, but there's just no way that you can really do anything to impact it or stop it happening. And as you saw, as soon as Mirror tried to move around that corner to impact it, it was easy to watch that angle then for the attackers. So Norfolk taking great advantage so far. They're going to be attacking ventilation this time, a site that they haven't attacked as of yet. We're going to see Jamie V-Dub making some early progress there and a good first kill onto the dock. So that is good utility off the board as well. It's a whole bunch of HP that's going to be lost to the defenders, and it leaves us 5 versus 4, and it looks like we could be seeing a bit of a speed plant here. We've got Titan moving in again. He's certainly had some good plants so far. Down it goes as Ice Keens gets a kill onto 2 Assassin. However, Frost will move out and get one for his troubles, but Godly Duke will trade that straight back out. The diffuser has gone down. This is a rapid round. Slayer Swift getting a kill onto Ice Keens, but he is a bit lit at this point on the Jaeger. We've got Ella on full health. He doesn't know that Titan's still in sight. Moves in and will get killed. So it's just 3 versus 1 now. Smokey the Bandits has it all to do. He needs to get in and get these 3 kills. He's going to be challenged at front door. He's going to return fire, but he won't have any joy. He will miss the wall bang. It's a good opportunity for him, but Godly Duke will finish things off, and that is the map. Border going to the Norfolk Nighthawks to bring us to 1 apiece here, and this is a duel.
Well, I think it was to be expected after we saw Oregon we were going to see these teams go to 3. You can usually get a little bit of a feel if you think it's going to go to 3 maps or not, and we certainly got that feeling with these two teams. Nighthawks, they've had a fantastic showing on board. Look at Jamie and Not Titan there, 11 and 10 kills apiece. You can't argue with that kind of fragging power. You really can't. And I think it was really on the setup of the defences of Kingston. They just didn't have a great setup. There was no rotation on that last hold. No rotation into ventilation from Workshop, and you just can't be doing that because the plant goes down for free.
You know, the plant goes down for free, and you know exactly where they have to retake from, and they have to retake from a single door with an angle that you can hold from 3 miles away outside a front door.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, it's always going to be difficult. And like you say, I think if the Kingston Harriers watch this back and they want to go away as a team and have a look at how to improve their play on border, look at your defence. Look at how you're setting up, particularly your armour rate, particularly your ventilation. Have a look at those two. Watch Pro League, watch other competitive Siege, see how they do it. Look at the difference about how they go about it, because you were using utility, but quite often not really in a position where you could directly impact on the attack.
I think that they had a very good idea of why they wanted to bring certain operators, and the utility was largely in the correct position. It just needs to be placed a little bit differently, and the margins are small. You know, the margins in Siege are very, very small indeed, and it doesn't take very much. It doesn't take much of an opening really for the attackers to have quite a large opportunity in terms of getting a plant down. So a very good map number 2 of Border. We will be cutting to a very short break just to get the next map all set up. So 5 minutes or so. Stick with us to see the conclusion of this thrilling series so far. This is for 3rd and 4th place in the Arena Clash tournament.
Dark
Hi everyone and welcome back to the Belong Arena Clash. I am still Ace of Pyrite and this is still XR Troika.
We have not changed our names yet.
Not yet. Kingston Harriers against the Norfolk Nighthawks. We are now one map apiece in this best of three, which will determine third and fourth place in this year's Arena Clash, ahead of next week's final at Insomnia, which is going to be a belter, I'm sure, between the Plymouth Armada and Bristol Smugglers. But back to the job at hand. We've had Kingston Harriers take a very close first map on Oregon, and then the Norfolk Nighthawks have a little bit more of a run over, 7-2 on Border.
Yeah, night and day, really, in terms of the two games that we've seen so far. Like you say, all 15 rounds available being played out on Oregon. However, it was shut down fairly quickly over on Border, so we will have to see where this best of three will conclude. It will be on Bank. We are sitting at one map apiece, one for the Kingston Harriers and one for the Norfolk Nighthawks. Ying is going to be banned out. Ying, an operator that we have seen put to very good use so far on the side of the Harriers, so no surprise that Norfolk don't really want to be dealing with that second ban. At least we're not going to see a double hard breach ban. We did see a double hard breach ban coming out over on Oregon, and it did make things a little bit tricky for those attackers. We are going to see the Hibana ban, which I'm okay with.
Yep, I think it keep your hatches secure on Bank.
Yeah, keeps the hatches safe, keeps downstairs that much more defensible. I mean, not that you need much more of an advantage with all of the deniability available to the defenders, but hatches will be largely safe.
Moving on to those defender bans then, we're going to have the Kingston Harriers coming out and banning Legion first of all. That's a 100% ban rate for Legion tonight. We've seen him banned out on all three maps, which is quite unusual, and then a quick ban coming in from the Norfolk Nighthawks as well, and that will be Mirror going, so not too much of a surprise. Mirror pretty useful on this one. She has her uses up on top floor, has her uses down in the basement as well, so not too surprised to see Mirror going now. A couple of questions in chat about what is this, what are we doing here, what's going on, what's the message? Well, we are here casting the Belong Arenas Arena Clash tournament. So Belong Arenas are gaming arenas that are scattered around the country. Have a look on belong.gg to find your nearest one. Basically, you can get yourself down there. They have organised tournaments called the Arena Clash. Siege is one of the games that covers, and you can get yourself into a team. It's all played from your local Belong Arena, so it's same room gaming. Get down there, get to know your team, and play. We're currently on Xbox here, so it's just about grassroots esports, getting people into and familiar with that competitive team environment, and just having some fun as well. You know, it's all well and good playing from home, but sometimes that same room gaming is just a little bit different. It's a different experience, and that is what we are doing here. So we'll look towards the match at hand then. Kingston Harriers, Norfolk Nighthawks. This is the fourth playoff ahead of the final next week, and we will see a top floor defence first of all.
Kingston really not wanting to play with Legion, having banned Legion for all three of these maps so far. And I think that the Nighthawks could be performing a decent little debate here. The choice to go upstairs, up to CEO straight off the rip, and not go downstairs to what is seen as the more preferred bomb site, could do them pretty well indeed, as the Harriers will have to switch up their attack. They've of course brought a Jackal, which does have its value, but I would imagine that Jackal was maybe planning on trying to do a bit more of a roam clear of upstairs and then try and push on down into site. So attacking up onto a CEO objective, it could be something that the Harriers aren't all too prepared for in their operator selection. They can make a lot of what they've already got work, but I would like to see some pressure applied to the north windows to remove those bandit batteries and allow Thermite to open up the wall. That can either be done from the north windows. That's a good place to sit as an attacker, as you can cut off a lot of lines of rotation along inside of CEO. Alternatively, downstairs in archives is something or is somewhere, sorry, that Zephyr would also do very well at trying to destroy those batteries. Pre-fire shots coming through from Slayer, as already early entry on into Janitors, and big aggression going to get shut down almost instantly there. Jaeger losing a lot of damage in that engagement, but it's going to be Jamie Dub that finishes off Slayer Swift as our opening kill. Jaeger there just getting juiced back up by Doc, living to fight another day. Successful first engagement there for the Nighthawks.
Yeah, I like what I saw there from Kingston Harriers. I was a little bit disappointed for him that it just wasn't that little bit more successful. Great early aggression from the Zephyr, getting in, opening up that janitor wall, making good use of those impact grenades, but unfortunately just losing out in the gunfight that ensued. So we're going to see Kingston Harriers trying to use that breach now. Sledge is just going to try to take out the bulletproof cam there in stock, but it's a swing and a miss. Not Titan getting the C4 kill onto 2 assassins, so that is going to take the Jackal off the board. Sledge will lose his life to Ice Kings as well, but we get a quick double coming back in from Kingston Harriers just to level things up to a piece here, and I'm sure Norfolk are going to be hoping that that doesn't come back to bite them. We've got another kill there for the Kingston Harriers. Titan just moving and dominating outside of that janitor area. I think his bullets might just have been sinking into the reinforcements there, but 1 or 2 might have just snuck through to try and hit onto that final Norwich defender, Jaeger. Just holding himself deep inside. Don't forget, this is the Jaeger that got the first kill of the round onto the Zephyr and took a lot of damage, but was juiced back up by Doc, so just showing the value of that gadget from Doc there to get him back on his feet and ready to fight this potential 1v2. He will be drawn out though. Smokey the Bandit looking to get a plant down. I don't think Jaeger can challenge him at this point, as Titan has got the angle locked down. It will only be a matter of time until the Jaeger gets taken out, and that's the first round for the Kingston Harriers.
Good round coming out there, but not a round that it looked like they were going to win. The Nighthawks started off very strong in their early engagements, but the Harriers able to adapt, able to overcome, and able to clutch out that first round. We are going to see now a more traditional pick bomb site. Locker's CCTV room is the more favoured bomb site. That's where you're going to see teams gravitate to, usually, if it's available. I think that the top floor maybe didn't quite work out for the Nighthawks as they had envisioned, but downstairs I'm sure they will have a field day, especially that Maestro and Echo have both made their way through the banning phase, although only one of the 2 will be picked, and that will be the Maestro. So Maestro now seeing a little bit of use, which is good. He has been available all of the games this evening, but only really played on border and on bank so far. I really like the pulse pick. Not Titan there is going to be having a field day, I'm sure, over on inside Gold Vault, able to feed back a lot of information to his team. And this round, I think, is all going to come down to the roam game and how the Nighthawks are able to keep the pressure off from upstairs for as long as possible and try and waste a lot of the Kingston Harriers time. Because as soon as Kingston Harriers get good control of CCTV area, top of square stairs, open area, it's going to be very difficult for the Nighthawks to keep them at bay, because they've not got all too much deniability. If they had a smoke, I'd say that they were in a good position to, hold off a minute plus with C4s and a smoke, but only having 2 C4s, they're going to have a bit of a tough time there in really trying to hold off a persistent push here from the Harriers. So we'll have to see how it does play through. Thermite just getting some drone work done through the tunnel on inside of CCTV, and I'm sure that he's not going to be met with much resistance there, but the players are going to be aware that that he is playing in that area purely due to the cardiac sensor. IQ just trying to find any pesky gadgets that could be lurking around, maybe looking for that vigil that could be on the roam. The Sledge is going to make his way on into the top of square stairs, but the garage push coming through from Zephyr, and one of those evil eyes is going to be taken out with ease.
1 minute into the round then, and we are still 5 apiece at this point with the attack. Just looking to get that top floor cleared out, and once they're confident that it is, they will start to move downstairs and make sure they've got all the roamers cleared out. As you can see, we've got all 5 defenders on site. Now, if the drones had picked that up a little bit quicker, it just prevents the defending team wasting time by sitting downstairs, which is essentially what they're doing. They've got no roamers out there, and this attacking team is still essentially working on a roam clear without any roamers to clear. So that's a minute and a half taken on an unnecessary roam clear, but we're going to start seeing some progress towards site now. Thermite is about to open out that wall onto the CCTV room, but we will see a fantastic peek from the Jaeger inside of CCTV just to take one outside in servers. So that will bring us to 5 versus 4 in favour of Norfolk here. I'm sure they're going to be keen to get this round back. They certainly don't want to fall a couple behind. 2 Assassin with a kill onto Ice Kings, but Godly Duke will trade that straight back out onto Slayer Swift. So that leaves us now 4 versus 3 as it stands with the diffuser in hand. So Kingston is certainly not done here. There's plenty for them to do. I'm not sure about still being in the Jackal scope there, and in your ACOG it's making things very difficult. He was convinced Jaeger was playing behind the desk, but he wasn't, and Jaeger will get that kill onto 2 Assassins, Smokey the Bandit and Belonging 21 getting 2 for themselves to bring it back to 2 versus 2. And this round is very indicative of the game that we've seen so far. A second kill coming in from the Thermite to bring it 2 versus 1, and they can start to get that diffuser down. There's not going to be anything that Pulse can do to prevent that, and it's now up to him to retake the site. Unfortunately for him, he's got IQ on one side, but he will see the back. The railings will save IQ and let her fight another day against this Pulse. Does she correctly predict the movement of Pulse? She does, and Smokey the Bandit will get that final kill onto Titan. Kingston Harriers taking the second round, and they are now 2-0.
Why did they not open the wall? It could have been so much easier if Thermite had opened the wall. He had an exothermic charge there waiting to be used. A Jackal just pushing in on his own, just so... It's almost like he had the blinkers on. He was just so focused on getting the kill. But a step back, open the wall. I mean, I know that they won the round, so that's fine. But it really, really could have gone either way. And just a bit of a missed opportunity there from the Nighthawks. I can't help but think they are having a tough time of it on Bank so far. They are going to choose to go back upstairs to CEO. Maybe they felt like they held this site a little bit better. But, God, bit unfortunate there. I think they could have done with a smoke. They could have done with a bit more deniability. The Maestro's good for the information gathering aspect, but maybe the Yokai does reign supreme there.
So we will be moving on to round number 3 now, and we're going to have a top floor hold again. So 2-0 to the Kingston Harriers here. They've had 2 good attacks so far. Norfolk Nighthawks choosing to mix their sights up. Having lost this in the first round, they're going to have to do something differently. They gave up again a lot of control. We've seen them do that in both rounds so far. We saw them play all 5 down on site in that last round downstairs in the basement, and then up on the top floor again, there was no real stretch of the defence. They were all playing on or around the site, and I think that's something they're going to have to change. They need to get a couple of people out there on the roam if they're going to see any success. We know how good a map Bank is for roaming. There's 3 staircases, there's opportunities to jump over balconies. It's easy to rotate up and down between the levels and cause a real nuisance of yourself, and I think that's something that Norfolk need to start taking advantage of quickly if they want to see any success here.
Bumble Bishop 99 in the chat. No rotation hole equals no party.
Facts.
I don't think I could have put it better myself. It's all about the rotation holes. It's all about being able to make those quick movements in between site and effectively deploy your utility through those rotations. Not always about moving through it as a whole. Often it can be a line of sight, or often, you know, just enough to get a C4 through. But no rotation hole, no party. Do enjoy that very, very much indeed. The push now for the Harriers is predominantly coming up the main stairs. Drone work is going to take place over on inside of Meeting, and we do have Jackal tracking people as well. Slayer, Swift and Assassin there, just trying to make the way over on inside of Meeting. Line of sight is going to be opened. Slayer Swift's ACOG's just going to be blocking out the potential there from the peek from the Bandit, but it's going to be 2 Assassins, who is well aware that Bandit is playing on inside of that corner. Now some pressure needs to be applied from the main stairs, and as I say, that Slayer Swift is already there. So all Bandit's got to do is try and stay alive at this moment in time, but with pressure coming in from both sides, it could be very difficult to do so. Slayer Swift now just making his way over onto Banana. He's going to have to make his presence known and open some of those barricades if he does want to see some success peeking on in. Jaeger now as well joining the fray, just putting some shots down the long corridor there as the push has slowly come to a bit of a halt, but the defenders have got nowhere to go as the kills start to open up, and it's going to be Kingston opening things up with one over onto the dock. Site control has now been gained. Look at that, we're seeing the sledgehammer kill. the long 24 onto Ice Keys. Jamie Dub going to trade it back. Unfortunately for 24, he doesn't manage to get the kill with the gun. He seems better with the hammer at this stage. Jamie Dub grabbing one. 2 quick kills come through for Kingston. All of a sudden, this is a 2 versus 1. The plant is going down. Titan now in a retake scenario. Shots get fired over onto IQ. The MPX not doing him any favours there. Is he going to get the challenge onto the Thermite? He does. Claymore is on the bomb. He is going to deal with that before looking to deal with the IQ. Is he going to be able to clutch out this round? He's going for the defuse. Is he going to stick it? I think if he sticks this, he probably wins. Shots are going to rain through. Smokey the Bandit trying to find it. Doesn't manage to find it. I thought he had the kill, but no, it's going to be Titan with the clutch. Managing to get the counter defuse with plenty of time. Big round there for the Nighthawks. That's exactly what they needed at this stage.
Titan stepping up for his team there, left with about 15 HP when all was said and done, but it doesn't matter if he was left with 1 HP. He got onto that counter defuse and won the round for his team, and as you rightly say, X, that is exactly what the Norfolk Nighthawks needed, was to get around on the board and stop themselves slipping further behind. That's going to go a long way towards steadying the ship. Not every day that you see a sledgehammer kill in competitive Siege, X.
I think I said this. I've said it multiple times. I said it a couple of weeks ago. And I'm not sure if we're doing Play of the Week tonight, but if you pull off the hammer kill, insta Play of the Week. And we've seen some fantastic plays tonight. But
even if we don't, it'll be the unofficial.
It's the unofficial Play of the Week for Kingston 24. Please make yourself known so we can give you a proper call out, or a proper shout out, should I say. But yeah, hammer kills, I'm all about it.
Loving that. So moving into round number 4 here then, we've got the Kingston Harriers having come out with a strong start and gone 2-0, but then the Norfolk Nighthawks managed to take one back on the top floor CEO objective, and that brings us to round number 4, 2-1, and we're going to see the Norfolk Nighthawks defending downstairs again now. Last time we saw them defend down here, they left all 5 on site, and I think that caused them a problem, because even though it took a minute and a half for the Kingston Harriers to decide that they were all on site, as soon as they did, they then had a minute and a half to just pressure site without any concern of anybody anywhere else, and they just got down there, created their angles, started getting the diffuser down, and made it very difficult for the defenders. So I would like to see more of a roam presence. Looking across the operators there, I'm not too sure who that will happen with. We do have a bandit. There's not too much opportunity to bandit trick down here, so bandit might be a good shout. We've seen Jamie V playing out on the roam previously as well. Jaeger is another one that could be out there joining him, so I think that's something that they definitely need to be thinking about. But 30 seconds into the first round, we're still drawn in, and we can see Sledge now making some reasonably quick progress. If he can get himself down blue stairs, ooh, make sure you're in your ADS sooner than that, Sledge. Somebody playing blue stairs would have had a field day there, but he's got himself downstairs. He'll start taking those bandit batteries off the walls. Just stand a little bit too close to that one and get a reminder that there is still a bandit battery on there. We've got somebody playing in CCTV, which we saw last time but dealt with much quicker. How about that for a quick 2k from Sledge? Kingston Harriers just starting to stretch the legs a little bit now. That leaves them in a 5 versus 3. 2 minutes to go, and they are starting to take control. We've got 2 operators back in Gold Vault, and they are not able to impact on too much from there. Time is ticking, but the attackers are making good progress.
Yeah, we've got the Echo that is going to be able to deny Titan. Titan really seems to be trying to pick up a lot of, not a lot of slack, but he seems to be trying to do quite a bit in these rounds. He's getting a lot of kills. He's finding himself on the heavy utility or heavy support operators. And I'm sure that he's going to be trying to deny this plant, as we do see a grenade toss come through there. Again, no rotation hole inside of Red Corridor and A. As we do have Titan there, just making sure that no one is trying to get a cheeky plant down with about 1 minute and 20 to go. Another grenade toss comes through. The monitor almost means he loses his yokai drone there, as 2 assassins is going to get the footprints onto somebody. Who that somebody is, it is yet to be revealed. But he does have the diffuser in hand, so a plant isn't the imminent threat here. But 5 versus 2 as Jamie V-Dub does get taken out, and full site control has now been gained. Sledge has been allowed to push on through, and now Titan is going to be feeling some pressure over inside of that vault area. He's still in his yokai drone. He is trying to deny, but there's nothing to deny. We nearly saw another, but the Godly Duke saving the life of Titan. That could be huge. The plant does start to go down now, however, and I don't think that Echo has got enough time to jump back in the yokai. A down comes through there over onto the IQ, making this a 2 versus 2, but the defuse has been planted. Bit of a crossfire establishing now as well, as Assassin is over inside of security, but Thermite with the shots down there onto Godly Duke, and Assassins clearing things up from lockers onto Titan. Ooh. Seat of the pants stuff.
One hammer kill in a night, you certainly don't get away with two. How close the swing was happening as the bullets came in. That was,
it was almost slow motion.
Unbelievable.
The observing there was top notch to catch that. It was almost out of like a, it was out of a blockbuster film.
It really was. So 3-1 now in favour of the Kingston Harriers in round number 5 we go, and we will see a Tellers Archives hold this time. Norfolk have really been struggling on this defence. They've won 1 up on CEO, they've lost downstairs twice, so they can't go back to CEO just yet because they won that in round number 3, and there's a 2 round rotation parameter, so they're going to have to go, if they want to mix it up, to either Tellers and Archives or to open area. So I think they've definitely picked the better of those two, so they're going to Tellers Archives. I think really we need to see more Rome presence here. I think that's what we're struggling with, especially on this objective. They cannot give up top floor control too early. We've got the Sledge. He's going to get himself straight into CEO if you give it up, and he's going to open up that entire floor, and you're going to be in big trouble. So I would like to see at least 1, if not 2, of those operators from Norfolk Nighthawks getting themselves upstairs and causing a nuisance.
Yeah, they really need to be sort of stretching the legs just a little bit more. You can't defend from the site when there's 5 attackers that are pressuring on, because they're going to find the angles, they're going to find the openings, and when you're not setting up with rotations and you're not really setting the site up as perfectly as you could, it does beg the question as to why they're not playing a little bit more out on their own. But then, that being said, it's a big game. You know, neither team are going to want to risk too much, and if people aren't confident, or you know, they're not comfortable in maybe exposing themselves and trying to waste a lot of time on their own, that could be playing into it a little bit. It can be very difficult to roam on bank because it is so big, because there are so many angles and so many, you know, crossfires that can be established by good attacking teams. Slayer Swift just making sure that no one is inside of open area. Smokey the Bandit again, searching out those electronics. He's no doubt going to find a couple of black eye cameras for his trouble. Sledge has already made his way over inside of stock trading, putting some shots down through meeting. I think it is going to be Titan that's playing over inside around CEO area, as footprints are going to get tracked now as well. Titan just doing a thorough job on the cams there, but he is going to have to come out, and I'm not sure if he's aware of how much ground that if the attackers have actually made up on him at this point. He could do well to rotate back down onto site at this point, as a lot of top floor control has been lost, and if he loses his life early on, unfortunate for Titan. Sledge will make good use of the Jackal ping. Titan would have been better off jumping over the balustrade and getting himself back down on into site, but as it stands, Sledge has been allowed to open up the floor with ease. He's going to be able to take out any mute jammers that are blocking out on that wall. Thermite will no doubt get the wall open very, very shortly indeed. Going to opt for the grenade toss. Could be a bit of a safer option to try and deal with some of those pesky electronics down there, as he is just going to double check, but the wall will be opened nonetheless. He's going to get the opportunity of a kill, but no, it's going to be Jamie V-Dub, Ice Keens and Godly Duke. 1 for each of them, and all of a sudden the Harriers are falling apart.
Honestly, I really thought this round was going in favour of the Harriers from there. They got themselves some good top floor control established. I think it was just as that Thermite hole was opened up, they just raced out of the breach and had an absolute field day, but Slayer Swift will get in there and get the kill onto Ice Keens. So that brings it back to a 2 versus 3, and it's certainly still winnable from here for the Kingston Harriers. They're going to just send in that impact nade to get rid of the Maestro cam. Oh, unfortunately just misses his shots there onto the Jaeger. He's going to call out the position, and Sledge now has it all to do effectively in a 1 versus 3. That barbed wire just hassling him, wants rid of that, and there will be the Claymore kill onto Jamie V-Dub. Norwich just getting a kill onto Sledge, so that leaves Zofia with only the option of withstanding. Brings herself back up to 1 HP, will be challenged, 13 seconds. This is not looking good for Kingston. She will see the Jaeger but won't manage to hit the shots. Out comes the pistol, just looking for anything at all, but it won't be enough. Slayer Swift just getting taken out there in round number 5, and that will leave us 3-2 in favour of Kingston now, and they are going to be desperate in what has been, I think it's reasonable to say, a fairly dominant attacking performance. They're going to be keen to come out of this 4-2. Norfolk are doing very well to hang on here.
Yeah, they really are. I think if Norfolk come out of this 3-3, they've got to be very pleased with themselves indeed. Again, some just minute errors on the side of Norfolk, but really amounting to essentially a 1 versus 1 in the final couple of seconds, which, yeah, Zofia's withstanded, so she's on very low health. But, you know, all it takes is one shot in the head and that's it. Jaeger's out of the picture. So I think the Nighthawks could do better to not try and rush those situations where they've got the man advantage, because that really easily could have gone the other way. And I think had that have happened, there could have been a lot of tilt factor there on Norfolk losing out on a round that they really feel like they should have won. To pick up 3 quick kills after the breach gets opened, despite the fact that they've lost top floor control the way that they did, they put themselves in a very powerful position at that point in the round. And it was a really key moment as well, because I think a couple of seconds after that breach has been opened, if they maybe got those kills like one after the other in the sort of 20 seconds after the breach opened, I don't think it would have had the same impact. But the sheer confusion that would have been going through on the Kingston Harriers comms at that moment in time really will have benefited the Nighthawks, because 3 people are trying to call out that they've died all at the same time, and the remaining 2 are just like, what do I do? Where do I go? Where do I need to look? And it, you know, that can be something, especially when you're all playing in the same room and you're looking over at the guy next to you shouting.
I bet at least one of them shouted, "Where from?"
On ping.
On ping and where from. You said the comms will have just been absolute chaos at that moment in time. But looking back to the game at hand, we are in round number 6, 3-2 at this stage to Kingston Harriers, and the attackers here are going to be very keen to take this round and get themselves in with an advantage at the half. They've played very well so far, and I think they have really had the run of things, but the Norfolk Nighthawks showing some absolutely great determination and keeping themselves clinging in there with a 3-2. If they can come out of this with even spoils, they are going to be very, very happy. So we are looking now, the droning is largely done, and we're going to see Slayer Swift looking to move in with that Zofia. This is something that we've seen him do previously. He's challenging, he recognises that that wall is being left soft, and he gets in there with the impact grenade and opens things up, but he did lose his life last time he did this. He is going to look at moving out, and Jamie V-Dub will get an early kill on to Assassin. That is going to leave us 5 versus 4 in favour of the Norfolk Nighthawks here. So they have got it all to do on the attack here if they want to come out of this with the advantage that it would feel like they deserve. But deserve doesn't really come down to it. You know, you can't argue that Norfolk have done a good job, whether it's by hook or crook. They have done what they needed to do. We've got 2 operators led down behind the desk, and that is going to be plainly obvious to Slayer Swift as the Zofia now, but not really in a position to directly challenge there. So we'll have to back out, and that lifeline only giving information and not allowing him any advantage. That will be the Yokai drone just taking the stun there onto the Zofia, but Zofia will not be impacted by that for as long as other players, being that she is the sister of Ella. And oh no, sorry, I'm sorry, that's actually a mistake. It's a Yokai drone, so it will impact her as much as the others. Titan getting the kill, Ice Keen's with one of his own, so that's now going to leave us 4 versus 2, 4 versus 3 as Slayer Swift gets one on the Zofia, and that is a quick turnaround now, 3 versus 2 in favour of the Norfolk Nighthawks. 40 seconds to go. The attackers do not have the diffuser in hand, and there is a lot of work to be done.
It's not looking good for the Harriers, but I think if you're a Nighthawks fan, you've got to be pretty happy with this position at 30 seconds in. Smokey the Bandit just pulling out the scanner to try and find some electronics, but Slayer Swift's going to make this a 2 versus 2 with a kill over onto Mute going untraded. I think he knows that someone's playing behind the desk, and yes, he does. But Echo is still in the picture, and if Titan is able to deny this plant, Oh, I'm not sure if he's going to be able to do it. Is the cover of the bomb enough? It is, and Zofia is able to get that plant off Titan there. Unfortunate. I think had his Yokai been in a different position, that could have been an easy round win there for the Nighthawks. I'm really not sure what Mute was doing led underneath the table. It wasn't Mute, I think it was maybe Bandit, but someone was led underneath the table, and I really don't think you should have been there. Titan's got a big uphill battle now, literally. IQ is just being covered by his ACOG. You can see her there, but no, IQ flicks around. That could have been a free headshot, but it will not be. The balcony not doing him any favours there. Shots are going to rain through. He's not got much time left, and Slayer Swift closing things out for his team. Really, really unfortunate there for the Nighthawks and Titan. It's you love to see when the Echo is the last alive in a position to be able to deny the plant, but just the cover of the bomb being enough for Zofia there to effectively get it off and to come out of this 4-2. I think that's probably a fair showing. The Harriers have attacked very well indeed. The Nighthawks have had some really good defence, but on the whole, I think that's probably fair for how Bank has played out this far. The sides will now, of course, switch, and it is on Kingston Harriers to show us what they've got on defence. They're going to be taking us down to lockers and CCTV rooms straight away, whereas the Nighthawks tried to go upstairs to CEO, which didn't really work out for them. Nighthawks have got an uphill battle here.
I would absolutely agree with you there that I think 4-2 is a fair reflection of what we've just seen in the first half there from Kingston Harriers. Certainly more dominant on the attack than Norfolk were on the defence, but Norfolk did definitely deserve something for their troubles because they really did grit their teeth and tried to make the best of a bad situation there. They certainly didn't make it easy for the Kingston Harriers, as we saw most rounds going towards the last 20-30 seconds there. So we're going to be looking towards round number 7 now. As you've said, X, we're switching sides, so the Kingston Harriers are going to be on defence. We've got a castle brought for this downstairs objective, which is not something that we saw from the Norfolk Nighthawks. You can see there that he's castled off the garage and stairs side, so if nothing else, that's going to waste utility, but potentially could do more than that and could really slow down that attack. We've got 2 players upstairs at the minute getting the hatches. I would like to see 1 or 2, maybe even both, stay upstairs on a roam game and just make things uncomfortable for the attackers.
Yeah, I think if you're going to bring the Valkyrie, you've got to be using her in open area to try your very best to hold on to open area and square stairs for as long as possible. Not for too long. You know, you want to try and rotate out with your life or at least a kill. I'm not saying play it to the absolute death, but the castle pick, that's the one I've really got a bit of a problem with. They've got no real deniability on the side of the Harriers. They've got 1 C4 on Mute in sight. They've got 1 C4 on Valkyrie, but if she doesn't get back down to sight safely and intact, it isn't going to mean all that much. So the lineup could be the undoing of the Harriers so far, as Jamie Vidub is going to be allowed to open up that castle barricade if he so wishes, but rightly so, just going to be checking his 6 and making sure that there's no information gathering devices hiding out there in the garage. Now, that's not the default wall to open. It's not a bad wall to open necessarily, but I'd prioritise the other one, as I do think that's what Thermite is going for now. Belong 24 holding an angle behind the desk, so playing this quite far up really, and he is going to juice himself back up. There's no way he's going to rotate out of here with his life after that wall has been opened, and I think he knows that at this point.
So we are 1 minute 30 into the round. Thermite will just take some damage there, but will manage to get the wall open, so that's the important thing done. Titan will be taken out on the IQ by Belong 24. 21 follows up with a kill onto Jamie Vidub. We've also got Thermite potentially down there, or if not, very lit indeed. Ice Keens with a kill onto 21, taking the castle off the board. We are now 4 versus 3, and Doc will juice himself up to fight again, and will step out and get a kill onto Godly Duke. So we're now 4 versus 2. We've got Blackbeard and Thermite. Blackbeard out in the garage area, will be challenged, will be killed, and Slayer Swift gets that final one onto Ice Keens, and that is another round in favour of the Kingston Harriers. On the defence this time, they don't just attack, they also defend. 5-2.
Again, and you know, despite the lineup that they're bringing, they really made it work because of how well they're playing as a team. I quite liked Doc's play. It was high risk, high reward, but being able to head glitch on that table like that and juice himself up, knowing that he's in a position where he's going to take a bit of damage, so he's going to be able to heal himself back up again. it didn't matter that he wasn't able to rotate out because he was just planning on getting all of his kills over onto the people that were pressuring him. Had a Maverick been... I feel like Maverick's just been massively overlooked this whole series, which is a big shame because there's a hatch directly above where Doc was playing. You wouldn't even need to open the whole hatch. You could open a small hole on that hatch with Maverick. And Doc's not got a lot of... You know, he's going to hear it, he might see it, but it's not like a whole hatch is getting opened and you're going to go, oh, what's that? It could be a free kill. If Doc's going to choose to play in such an open and exposed location, do something about it. Bring the Maverick.
Looking towards round number 8 then, 5-2 currently in favour of Kingston Harriers, and they are looking to secure themselves 3rd place in this, the inaugural Arena Clash tournament for Rainbow Six Siege. We have gone to top floor now, and we've got the 2nd defensive round for the Kingston Harriers, so we haven't seen them defend up here as of yet, being that they rushed in and opened that janitor wall very quickly in all of their attacks on this objective. They've placed some priority on it and they've got it completely reinforced, but that will obviously leave gaps elsewhere. We've got 2 Assassin playing downstairs on the Alibi. He's looking to use her as a roamer, which is just about one of the best ways to use Alibi. Obviously, see if you can get any pings on those decoys and then leave yourself in a position to challenge them immediately. It looks like we're going to have some attention paid to north windows, which I know you will like. X, you always like those north window holds, especially when it's a Blackbeard that's on there. So the perfect operator for it. First kill coming into Norwich, and they are fighting back. They certainly don't want to give match point up to the Kingston Harriers just yet, so Ice Keen's just having to get himself up to the roof there after taking a little bit of damage. We can see a bulletproof cam on the wall there, nothing that Thermite will be able to do about that at the minute. I don't think he'll be able to get the angle to put a shot on that, and just waiting now. Norwich need to be careful here. They're overlapping each other a little bit. As you can see, there's not really a lot of clarity, I don't think, in who is holding what angle, and that's something they're going to need to work on. They've got a minute off the clock and no real direct progress yet other than that kill onto Doc.
No, and you can see it's going to be Not Titan leading the charge yet again as he is directing his team as to what needs to be opened. Thermite now going to try and open the default wall, but a mute trick is going to come out. Not every day you see a mute trick. Ice Kings maybe needs to get himself back onto the north windows. Kills get traded back and forth. 2 Assassin grabbing 1. Not Titan trading it straight back out. Somebody needs to get on that north window and deal with that mute, but I think it's going to be Titan going underneath. He is taking the diffuser, but he is going to be able to destroy the jammer, no problem. This is why he's one of the better players in this entire league. He's just got such a clear game knowledge and a clear understanding of how and what he wants to do. And you can see he's really trying to do a lot for his team at this moment in time. But it's going to be Ice Keens grabbing the kill onto 21. Doc, of course, doing a lot of damage last time. Slayer Swift with a kill onto Ice Keens. Traded straight back out by the Thermite. We do find ourselves in a 2 versus 1. It's got to be looking good for the Nighthawks. They've got a lot of time. They could drone, but no, he's going to push in. Smokey the Bandit finds 1, but Titan there again for his team to trade things out. That's how you trade kills out. Nighthawks with a very much needed round there.
Just getting caught in a reload there, the Mute unfortunately got the kill onto the Thermite. If he'd maybe just hit his shots and been able to take a few less bullets at Thermite, it would have left him in a better position to challenge the IQ, but it was always a big ask, 1 versus 2. You're going to lose more of those than you win, so that's a good round there for the Norfolk Nighthawks, getting the win on top floor. We're going to see Kingston Harriers coming out for their 3rd defensive round, going back up to CEO, having lost it. They are able to do so round number 9 leaves us 5-3 in favour of Kingston, and this is where it starts to get difficult for Kingston. The end is in sight. It's 1 map apiece. Kingston taking Oregon, Norfolk taking Border, and it's just getting to that point where you can start to feel that a win is possible, but you've still got those 2 rounds that you need to finish off, and that's when it starts to get tricky. And every round that you don't manage to clutch it out, every round that you don't manage to clinch it, it becomes a bigger and bigger problem until we end up in an almost inevitable overtime X, having been so close between these 2 teams.
We just see teams so often at every level of Siege struggle to convert that last couple of rounds. They do the hard work, they get themselves to within a round of match point, or even sometimes onto match point, and then all of a sudden the team that's losing wakes up and starts playing. they start playing like they've got nothing to lose. Then they start playing like they could win it, and then all of a sudden they put themselves in a position to win it. And the tilt factor on the team that started with the higher round count, so for example Kingston Harriers, they're going to start feeling it now because the momentum's building on the Nighthawks. They're getting pretty confident, and they're going to be pretty happy with their performance so far. Every round that they manage to keep Kingston off match point is a really good thing, and the mental battle then does start to go in favour of the Nighthawks, and all of a sudden the Harriers will start doing things that they've maybe not done previously. Godly Duke opening things up there with a massive kill on to 24. So far in this best of 3 series, we've seen 24 be either the MVP of the round or first blood, and really shouldn't be so over aggressive. Very high risk, high reward plays coming out from the dock, which, you know, is fine when they're working out, but when you're on round number 5, when you don't want to be losing rounds, when you do want to try and convert to match point, you don't really want to be peeking things you don't have to peek. That angle from Skylight is well known. It's a free kill for the attacker on the roof, purely because you're going to be able to see everything that you need, and fighting uphill battles in Siege is just notoriously difficult. The wall will be open now. Smokey not being allowed the chance to get the mute trick off. Ice Kings will be down. Jamie Dubb grabbing one of his own. Godly Duke again. All of a sudden it's looking pretty good for the Nighthawks. Blackbeard is down, but they're in an effective 5 versus 2, over half the round remaining.
5 versus 2 indeed, diffuser in hand, and the pressure is really mounting on those operators left in sight now. We've got Smokey the Bandit just holding an angle, will take shots. That'll bring him down to about 60 health, and he's going to have an uphill battle. He really needs to relocate himself in sight. If you just noticed, there was a drone scooted past him as well, so his location will be well known. He's got himself prone, he's changed his position. This is about as much as he can do, but it won't be enough as Ice Kings gets the kill through onto Smokey the Bandit, so that's going to leave us with just the castle. He's going to start putting the challenges in, but that UMP 45 really is not it at long range, and Ice Kings will move in with the pistol kill to finish things off, and that is the Deagle doing the business and finishing the round 5-4 now. Norfolk Nighthawks on a bit of a storm, and we're seeing a bank map that is very attacker sided today.
All of a sudden, the Harriers are going to be looking at themselves and they're going to be going, what's going wrong? What can we do differently? Okay, we can go back down to lockers now. We've had the 2 rounds for the rotation parameter, but I think the Nighthawks are going to know this. They're going to know that they're going downstairs, and I just hope that they do things a little bit differently. Thermite, open up the hatch above where Doc was playing. That's going to be a real key point here. It's in the small office inside of open area. Get that hatch open, then move down. After open area has been cleared and square stairs has been cleared, then move down into server and open up the default wall. That is going to provide your team with a lot of ability to execute a plan. We've not got any smokes, which is fine. On the side of the attack, that is. But also on the side of the defense, we're not seeing smoke. We're seeing a very similar lineup in the sense that they've got 2 C4s again. Kingston Harriers, last time they defended down here, all they had to deny the plant was 2 C4s. All of a sudden, if you manage to pick Valkyrie off on the roam, it makes things a lot easier. Then you've only got 1 C4 to bait out if you want to try and get a plant down, and a plant starts to look likely for the Nighthawks.
It does, so looking towards round number 10 then. 5-4 in favour of the Kingston Harriers, but they are currently on a little bit of a losing streak. They've lost the last couple of rounds, and that is something that they are going to want to stop. Slayer Swift just ripping down that castle barricade so he can get himself out on the roam. Castle will replace it, obviously. Once those are ripped down, they're replaced into Castle's inventory so that he can use them again. We're going to have Slayer Swift getting the hatches in the elevator, possibly behind Teller's desk if that hasn't already been picked up, and it hasn't, so I'm sure he'll go and do that now. No, he won't. So that is the Teller's hatch being left soft at this point, and with an Ash on the board, that could become a bit of a focus if the attackers realise that's the case. I would say that it's been a little bit symptomatic of Norfolk so far to have a plan and to just push forward and execute regardless of what is in front of them. So they're not going to be droning upstairs because they're happy to get themselves into server and open this wall up. It's not to say that it won't work, but I would personally say that 4 in servers is a little bit unnecessary, and you're fighting through a very narrow angle, and it's going to be very difficult not to hit each other and not to interfere with each other's challenges. So I would have liked Ash maybe to get upstairs, open that soft hatch behind Tellers, and maybe drop and start putting some pressure on from the other side as well. That said, we will see the wall open from servers to CCTV, and it's time to start thinking about how they can clear out this CCTV room for a plant. We've got at least one Kingston operator still playing heavily in sight. I'm guessing it's the Dock of 24, and it is the Dock of 24. He had a lot of success playing there previously. He's going to move out and get one challenge. That's one for him. Can he get a second for his trouble? He will put shots onto Titan, doesn't take any himself. Smokey the Bandit will finish things off for him, so this is better from Kingston. And there comes another one from 24, so that leaves us now 4 versus 2 as Jamie V-Dub gets a trade. That will be 4 versus 1 now, and Ash has it all to do. 24 is able to just juice himself back up and wait for this attack to come. Ash just opening up the wrong hatches, I'm afraid. I think they're getting the hatch open onto server is not really going to create any benefit for the Ash here, because that is too difficult an angle to challenge at this point. For me, the one would have been behind Teller's desk, drop into the sort of red vault area and start working from that side.
I think Jamie V-Dub could have a chance here. It looks as though all the Kingston players are very heavily focused on the server, but these castle barricades are going to slow him down ever so slightly. I do believe Jaeger is peeking on over to the doorway, and I'm sure Jamie is going to have a difficult engagement between those bars, but he does find the headshot. He threads the eye of the needle, but 24 just seems to turn on certain bomb sites. Yeah. I'm not sure if that could have been an ace. No, it wasn't an ace, it was a 4K. Yeah. But Nighthawks, he's done the same thing 2 rounds in a row. You know what he's going to do. Just deal with it. Open the hatch above his head.
Yep.
Grab a nade. Do something.
This is what I say. I think Norfolk is suffering a little bit there to just having an idea. We're going into servers, we're opening the wall, we're planting, and doing nothing aside from that. And that is something that they need to change, really. You know, they need to just make their attack a little bit less predictable, like you say. If they know there's going to be somebody playing in behind that desk, get a couple of players in upstairs, clear any roamers out, take, you know, take your thermite upstairs, open one of the hatches before you send him downstairs. Once you've got top floor control, it's very quick to move around bank, so it's really not the end of the world to have your thermite up there. If you don't, because Hibana's banned, take a Maverick. Give yourself an option. We keep saying about Maverick. Give yourself an option to open hatches without Hibana there, and just try and mix things up a little bit rather than sending all 4 into a nice funnel for the defenders to just sit there and hold angles with the ACOG, just like 24 did then on the dock, and it's just an absolute field day.
I'm surprised that hold worked as well as it did, because I saw that the hatch was left soft into servers, the castle barricade was on blue stairs, and I'm thinking to myself, if they get the pick here onto 24, there's no option for a flank because the defenders have cut it off themselves. All they had to do was get the pick onto the dock, playing on inside behind the desk, and it would have been a free plan, and I'm sure that the Nighthawks would have clutched out that round. As it stands, they're sitting on Kingston are now sitting on match point. This round for Kingston means everything. They need to clutch this one out if they want to take this best of 3 series. The Nighthawks have shown great resolve up to this point, and I think it's all on 24. If he dies early and dies without getting a kill and dies soft, more often than not we see the Harriers lose in that round. But if he's able to keep himself alive, he's proved himself time and time again as an out-and-out gunner.
He has indeed. So 30 seconds of the round and no immediate progress into sight. We've got Smokey the Bandit playing downstairs on the Cav. This round could hinge on whether the Cav is picked up or not, because if she's allowed to get on the flank and even get an interrogation, if she can single out one of those attackers, that could spell good night for the Norfolk Nighthawks. But we're going to have her working in tandem with the Dock, I'm sure, as well. He's going to be protecting that blue stairs area. First kill comes in for Kingston. That's Slayer Swift getting a kill onto Ice Keens. That's the Blackbeard off the board, and that could be a big one. Those face shields can be a real determining factor in gunfights, but 24 will lose his head to Godly Duke, so let's see what sort of impact that has on his team. It was halfway through the round this time, so not the early aggression that we've seen previously. We've got Jamie V-Dub working in on the Ash, almost certainly looking to put a challenge onto that Caveira that's downstairs. Will she know that the Ash is hunting her down? We are 4 versus 4. 1 minute 30 to go, and I don't think Smokey the Bandit has any idea that Jamie V-Dub is possibly pushing in downstairs, but should be safe as she moves away towards open area. She's just looking to see if she can get a view onto anybody on the top of those stairs. 2 Assassin, meanwhile, getting a good kill onto Titan, so that is one of the big Norfolk players off the board now when they needed him most to come and get some of those kills. We've got Jamie V-Dub moving upstairs, still seems to be hunting this Caveira, but no joy as of yet. 1 minute to go, and we see Godly Duke downed by Caveira, and a second, and here will come the interrogation, so that will reveal Jamie V-Dub's position to the rest of the team. This could be dangerous. They don't want to chase this kill at this point. It's 1 versus 3. The defenders hold all the cards. He needs to go and get the diffuser. I'm pretty sure the defenders are aware of the location of that diffuser. 2 Assassin seems to be playing there, just keeping close proximity to it. Jamie V-Dub has an awful lot to do in not a lot of time at all. Shots will come in from 2 Assassin onto Jamie V-Dub, and 2 Assassin doing exactly the right thing there, just dipping out of that engagement. There is no reason to challenge too hard. All he wants to do here is waste time. He's holding himself tight in a corner there. I think he might be on his cams, so I don't know if he's got one in this area. More shots coming on to Jamie V-Dub, and 2 Assassin finishes things off for the Kingston Harriers, and they will take 3rd place in this, the inaugural Belong Arena Clash for Rainbow Six Siege.
What a brilliant series we have seen tonight. Kingston Harriers facing off and proving themselves victorious against the Norfolk Nighthawks. Great plays from both teams, and what a fantastic night of Siege. It doesn't feel like we've watched as much as we have. I'm sure we've been doing it for a good couple of hours now. You can just see the good spread of kills there on the side of Kingston. Just finding a couple more kills. I think that's really what it came down to. We didn't see very many plants going down on Bank at all. It really did come down to kills, which isn't always a bad thing, but just not being able to find all too many on the side of Norfolk, and it will be Kingston that prove themselves our 3rd place winners.
It will. Excellent match, very enjoyable to watch. As we've said, it's just a really good example of what Belong are trying to do here with the Arena Clash, and that's bring teams into a competitive environment and give them the opportunity to experience that and the taste for it, so that they've got the motivation to go away and develop themselves as a team further and to push on. So great stuff to see, a really engaging and entertaining game here tonight. Let's not forget, of course, we have yet got the big finals to come. They will be next Friday from Insomnia. Myself, Asapara, and XR Troika will be joining you for that from the NEC, so that is a big opportunity for those two teams. It's something yourself could experience. Get yourself down to Belong, get yourself into the finals, and you'll be off to the NEC or similar if they do it again in future, and you'll be able to experience that sort of live LAN on-stage event. You know, what a prize. Money can't buy, really. So great day at Insomnia, definitely something to have a look at if you haven't already. There's all sorts going on. Not only is there all of the finals for the Arena Clash games, there is also bring your own computer tournaments as well throughout a number of games. Some big money prizes up for grabs there, so there's going to be some real high quality gaming to watch live. There is a 3v3 Siege tournament. If that's more your thing, you can just go down there and get involved live at Insomnia. Who knows, you might even be able to play against me and X.
We are going to get involved in that on Saturday.
Absolutely.
I think it's fair to say.
It's going to be dangerous. It's going to be dangerous. But yeah, there's all sorts going on. There's going to be Rainbow Six Siege giveaways, the Koyo story there, selling the pins. There's absolutely loads to do at Insomnia, and that is really only scratching the surface. There's a whole host of live gaming to watch, as well as events, giveaways, and everything else to get involved in. We're going to be there, the players are going to be there, and it's going to be a whole lot of fun, I'm sure.
Yep, tickets are £25 and they are still available. So if you live in Birmingham or the surrounding area and you can get yourself down, like Tim says, we'll be there on both Friday and Saturday. So if you bump into us, please do say hello. We would love to meet anybody that has been in the chat, or, you know, anyone at all, really. Just come and say hello.
We just want friends.
Let's talk some Siege. I can talk Siege all day, but yeah, it's going to be great fun. I can't wait to have a do on the 3v3.
Yeah,
we need
a third.
We need a third. If you're a third out there and you're going to Insomnia, hit us up. We're going to go and take it all. I think.
Just make sure you're a demon on the sticks.
Yeah, God on the sticks, preferably.
requirement. So that's everything that we've got for you tonight. As I say, that's the Kingston Harriers coming in and closing out that third place here in the Arena Clash. That's going to be a big achievement for them, and I'm sure it's going to spur them on to further competition. Norfolk Nighthawks, consolation. You did very well. It was a very entertaining game, and you certainly played your part. You've got some fantastic fans in the chat, so a big shout out to all of those guys as well. It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been a little bit different for us being able to interact with chat in the way that we have. I'd like to say a big thank you to everybody who's been in there and who's made it a pleasure to do so. We've had a lot of fun with you guys, and hopefully, long may that continue. So that's all that we've got for you tonight. Please do make sure that you join us next week on Friday. We'll be live around about the same time, so keep your eyes out for that, and we will bring you the Plymouth Armada versus the Bristol Smugglers in the Belong Arena Clash Rainbow Six Siege final. Until then, we'll see you soon.